We got to start the show before they start to mutiny. Hey guys, welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a good hump day. It's hump day, Jack.
It is.
I just got happy. Hump day always makes me happy.
Well, you like humping from the sound of it.
I've always liked humping ever since I was gonna make a bad joke. Something with uncles and things that we shouldn't talk about. Jack, how you doing tonight?
Not too bad. I'm a little off my game, but not bad.
I feel you guys. I overdid it tonight. I overdid a little bit, and I'm feeling it. This is what I did to overdo things. I made dinner and I washed dishes. I'm a manly man, you guys. Jack, there's somebody over on Twitter trying to take hits at me because I'm a cripple.
Isn't that kind of like discriminatory or something?
It is. It's actually funny. You know him, you love him, you guys. The Ufio answer who shows up to be a dick in chat now and then.
Oh, yeah. That guy.
Yeah, he's a few times. You're just a cripple. I'm like, I am. And I was waiting for more. You're a cripple is like it's kind of like the whole Chinaman insult. It's so lazy.
Yeah, that's pretty lazy. Step up your game, Ufio. Come on, you can do better than that.
Don't be a bitch. If you're going to be insulting, be insulting. Speaking of insulting, did you see, Jack, Alexandria Donkey Cortez has won her primary?
Really?
Yeah, her primary was tonight. She won, last I saw, 73%. The next person had less than that, of course. I didn't pay attention to what the next lady had. There was a lady who was running against her that was the more traditional Democrat. And by that, I mean they actually hide being a commie.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But there were some people, I think AOC is going to lose. If anybody thought AOC was going to lose this, no. You have to realize, even if she won a race by the skin of her teeth, have you seen how long her teeth are? I mean, that's still a huge win. That is a big fucking win. So, that's not nice. I apologize, YouTube. I made fun of characteristics that she can't help looking like a donkey. My bad.
I still would have sex with her.
I know. You just got to turn off the lights so you don't have to look at Eeyore.
No, I don't think she's that ugly. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but you'd be hitting it and she'd make that face and you'd be like, oh, God. I'm just telling you. When you're in the throes of passion and you look down and see donkey face.
You ain't got to look at her face. It's called doggy style.
Well, why not just turn out the lights then?
It's a lot of work and it fucks the camera.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't like it suddenly switching to night vision because it's weird. Like when you're rubbing one out later to it, you're like, it's having a sudden Star Trek fetish.
Bet those teeth in night vision look like weird alien ships.
Yeah, see, that's nightmare fuel. No thanks. But yeah, I would bang it out with AOC. I think she's cute.
Yeah. How did AOC win? Because she's in a very, very, very liberal district.
Just said she would yell, "Screw me like the black woman I am."
Yeah, right. Oh, you're gonna scare the children. They shouldn't be listening at this hour. Oh man, yeah. So she won. Anybody who was expecting different was either lying to themselves or part of that other woman's campaign. So lying to themselves. She's in a rare position. She has a lot of power for being a nobody.
She really does. She has a lot of influence because she is younger and she can get that target demographic of stupid young people. But yeah, she seems very popular. And I think she's cute until she starts talking, like Sean said.
I don't know how should I put this? She's far more influential than she should be. Nancy Pelosi got scared by the news media.
Yeah.
Because early on, Nancy Pelosi bitch slapped her into place where she belonged as a junior freshman senator. Congresswoman. Like, shut the fuck up and learn how the system even works. Because you don't know. You think there's 3 branches of the presidency or whatever it was she said. Remember that? The
Yeah,
three
one of them's the
branches.
Congress.
What was it? The three chambers of Congress. The president. She corrected herself on that, Jack, and she still fucked it up. But she has the nerve to, when anybody questions her intelligence, I got an econ degree from BU. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's the participation award of that university.
That just tells me to never hire a fucking accountant that came from BU.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people that watch their the value of their degree decline very quickly after that.
Yeah, every time that moron opens her mouth about anything economical. I forgot what I was even saying. God, she's a moron. It amuses me how dumb she is.
So,
Talk about her influence.
yeah.
The Nancy Pelosi let the press run her around. It's not that AOC has that much influence with any people except for the media. They fucking love her. They fap to her constantly.
Yeah, and I get it. She's young, she's mildly attractive. She says the things they want to hear. They're going to put her on TV. Nancy Pelosi made the mistake of allowing her to have that kind of influence brought over to the Congress. She should have shut that down way sooner. Instead, she got nervous and caved.
She did, and she lost control of her party at that moment.
Yeah.
She now listens to whatever they tell her to do instead of doing what she thinks. I don't know. I don't want to say what she thinks is right, but what she thinks is politically more expedient. Because that's how these people in Congress think. It's not necessarily about what's right. And both sides, hashtag not all. But yeah, it's what's politically expedient, not what's right. And AOC doesn't know fuck all about politics. She thinks Bernie Sanders is a good politician. Oh, that one video with her falling all over him. Literally, guys, just hugging all over him. It looked like Biden at a kitty care. Like, even Bernie looked fucking uncomfortable as shit. He's like, somebody get this brown donkey off me. Elliot Engel lost his seat. Who's Elliot Engel?
I don't know. But he lost his seat, so
Now I have to look him up.
I've heard that name before, but I don't remember. It's everything blurs together after a while. It's part of aging. Yeah, if Pelosi had kind of mocked her from the beginning and just said, "Well, we're not going to do that. That's something down the line," or something like that. Just every time she comes out and says something stupid, Pelosi should have come out and said, "No, we're not going to do it that way," and tried to minimize this influence.
I know this guy. Yeah, I know. He's been in Congress since 1989.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He's a Democratic from the Bronx. No, well, that's where he was born. He serves the 16th district in New York.
Oh.
So he ended up getting primaried, I guess. Jamal Bowman apparently beat him. All right. Yeah, he got smoked from this thing 2 hours ago. His challenger was up 62% to 36. Yeah, Democrats need to take these people seriously. Stop treating them. I mean, I know they're a joke, but you can't treat them that way.
No, because that's how you end up with the squad having so much influence.
Mm-hmm. This is the commies slowly buying off the Democratic Party by having their little. AOC literally auditioned for the spot of running for Congress.
Yeah.
Literally. Her brother nominated her to be interviewed for this chance to run. And Sanjay went, donkey good. And they're going to keep doing that around the country. We'll see what happens. I don't know how liberal the 16th district is. I'm not sure what that's a part of. But you little upstarts keep doing this. There's one of two things that the old school Democrats can do, Jack. They can either get in line with these new kids or crush them. And I wonder how many skeletons are running around AOC's closet.
I'd imagine you could fill a bar with it.
Yeah, at least the bathroom.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure she's got a ton of crazy stuff in her past that will eventually make its way to the surface, but by then it might be too late. She might watch her end up being Speaker of the House. 10 years from now, come on. Could happen.
Well, by then she won't be cool anymore, Jack. She'll be older by then.
But she'll have solidified her power base by then. And money and all that.
I want to see if she's going to be dumb enough to challenge Schumer. Because I think she could beat Schumer. I really do.
Yeah, probably.
But she could also lose. And if she ran against Schumer, she'd almost assuredly have to step away from the House seat, which would open it to somebody else. And then she'd be going to work on MSNBC.
Well, she's pretty well set in either case.
Sure.
I mean, I think she's got a lifetime supply of income for whatever pursuit she goes through.
Oh, yeah. So, she doesn't have to do anything. All she's got to do is show up on the talk shows and she'll be set. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato, for the generous donation. I started selling children's teeth to these Chinese weirdos, but they don't fall out fast enough. So a quick trip to the local school, some pliers and rope to make sure they don't get away, and I have enough to give you. No pain relief for them either. Thanks, Evolved. That's dark, man. That's pretty dark.
Nico says AOC backers had a good night. I'll have to see. If you're talking about, the people who just support her, anybody who didn't think, seriously, if you thought AOC was going to lose this, you either do not know politics or you're drunk.
Or
those are the only two acceptable reasons to not think she was going to win. Just like in November, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, she's going to be reelected.
Probably.
She's going to be reelected. It would take some major event for her to actually lose. And I just don't see any event like that on the horizon.
Well, I'll just have to have sex with her. They'll be like, look at all this weird shit this guy made you do. And I'll be like, yeah, I didn't make her do anything.
Yeah, right. Angry Illinoisan, thank you. YouTube needs to get rid of topics of interest for you ad. Every time I get it for a live stream, I have to refresh because hitting the skip button only gives me the thumbnail.
Yep.
What?
Does that to me too.
Huh. Maybe you should watch the ad. No, you don't have to watch the ad now with that donation. You just made me far more than this stream ever will. Thank you for the donation. It's a good time to remind them, Jack, we're brought to them by them.
Indeed we are. And you know how you can support this wonderful show? Like, share, and subscribe.
Also, donate to Jack and myself because we like to eat. Unlike AOC, we're not financed by horrible communists.
Yeah. Or large corporations that desperately want communism for some asinine reason.
If
you're not subscribed, you should be.
Isn't it great that large corporations pay for communism?
Yeah, I don't think they quite understand how that works out for large corporations when they get nationalized.
Well, certain ones of them do. Certain ones of them understand exactly. Don't you, Georgie boy? Anyway, what else was on the docket for tonight? Oh, Bubba Wallace. We need to talk about this dumbass story.
Is that the noose in the garage thing?
Yeah, this story's been around for a couple of days, and I purposefully avoided it, Jack.
Yeah, I remember RJ pointing it out in chat a while back.
Yep.
And I looked at the stories, and I was like, hoax hate. It's going to be on Beauty and the Beta for hoax hate.
For those of you who aren't familiar with the story, Bubba Wallace, the I don't know if he's the first, but he is the only black driver in NASCAR right now, as far as I understand it. He went to, or I don't even think it was him. Somebody else went to the garage he's assigned, and there was a noose, you guys. Oh, no. But before we get to that, thank you, Snub Earth, who says, Jack, any thoughts on the canceling of comics, dude? A lot of their stories come across as spoiled white girl, don't flirt with me bull.
Yeah, that's been going on for a while now, and it's getting a lot worse. This guy, Brian Wood, back about 10 years ago, got booted out of his job over, I think it was a DC, because he asked a girl out. And she wasn't a very good looking girl. I'll show you a picture later, Monkey.
Sure.
She looks like Pee Wee Herman with less hair.
Oh,
and like big forehead, like Ellen Page style forehead. And he lost his job and effectively got resigned to a bunch of like nowhere books, a bunch of indies. And they're doing it again now with Warren Ellis, who's a huge comic writer. And there was an executive that just got Me Too'd, and it's getting out of hand because it's just typical behavior of somebody asking somebody out or saying you look nice. Very, very innocuous stuff that years later is being manipulated into like, oh my God, he's a creeper. So yeah, it's happening a lot in the comics industry.
I want to talk to that more, and actually maybe it'll come up as part of our next story, because I saw some talk of that today as well. So yeah, don't let me get away from that story, Jack.
Okay.
But back to Bubba. So Bubba, the way I understand it, somebody saw a noose in his garage. I don't know that he actually saw it, but there was a noose in his garage. And it becomes this big deal to where even the FBI got involved.
Jesus.
The FBI goes and they search video and everything, and they find out this particular noose has been hanging in this particular garage since November of 2019.
Then it's probably not a noose. Was it the manual release for the garage door?
No, it's a pull down for the garage door. It's instead of a manual release, it's just like an old fashioned garage. Like you don't have those fancy electric garage doors, Jack.
Yeah, it's the rope you use to pull it shut.
Yep, and it's fashioned kind of like a noose.
No, it's just got a knot on it.
No, this one actually does. It does look like a noose. It looks like a small noose.
Were they hanging hobbits? I mean, those things aren't big. They're like big enough for your hand to grab them usually.
Yep, that's
I remember those.
And whoever did it, I mean, for whatever reason, that's the way it's tied. But even more interesting is there's now pictures coming from as far back as 2017 showing the NASCAR garages with these same rope ties.
Yeah, it's probably a standard way they tie those. Or, because when they build the garages, they probably have, a set style and pattern for setting them up. And they have those releases in all of them. And I would be willing to bet if you looked enough, probably half a dozen of those doors were tied by the same guy.
Oh,
so he had the same, knot. He probably only knew two knots, whoever the installer was.
Apparently my wife had shared the picture earlier. Oh yeah, she did. So we can put it up on screen.
Oh.
Just makes it easier because I know where exactly to find it. I don't know how well this is going to show up. I can share the tweet as well, but we'll make it as big as we possibly can. Right over here, you can see.
Wait, they thought that's obviously to the garage door. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, now if it had been at the top of the door, you know how they have the ones hanging down sometimes that you can use from that end to get momentum?
Yeah.
But this is fucking stupid.
Yeah, if you guys want to see it, because the picture on the left is a little blurry. You can see it pretty good in that tweet right there.
You couldn't lynch a Smurf with that.
It's obviously a fucking pull handle.
Yeah.
Obviously.
What dumb fuck who's never been in a garage in their entire life saw that and thought that was a noose? Seriously,
well, here's the thing.
Was it the driver? Because he needs to not be on the road. He's obviously got a head injury.
Again, as far as I know, it wasn't him who found it, because the stories were all noose found in Bubba Wallace's thing, not found by Bubba Wallace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a member of his team found it. And in this, look, I will give them this. If you had never seen that before, and let's say it's somebody who's never been on that circuit, that they had been in some smaller racing league and was just hired in there, and they realize that this is a black man who has, by the way, pushed NASCAR to get rid of the Confederate flag, which NASCAR had just done.
Yeah.
And then you see something that kind of looks like a noose. I can get it, but that's why you ask questions instead of going to the media immediately and making an ass of yourself. Well, that's why you look at it and go, wait, it's also attached to the door. I wonder if any of the other doors look. Oh, yeah, they all look like that. All right, never mind.
No, that requires too much forethought. This is obviously somebody that's never been in a shop garage. Like at an auto store, or auto repair place or a factory or anything like that, because they all have one of these. It's sometimes it's higher up on the door, but it's usually for these type of doors it would be where it is. But they're always there because it's a manual pull. So this is obviously some press agent or somebody that's not in garages. It's not somebody that works on his vehicle, because they would know what that is.
Well, again, if all of the other ones are tied with a normal knot and that's one that's wrapped like a noose, okay, then I could even see it. But here's the thing. Again, going back to November is when that one picture was taken. That is already there. He wasn't assigned that garage until 2 weeks ago. So the idea that this was meant for him in any way is fucking ridiculous.
Absolutely.
But apparently, somebody just said it in chat, and I'm sorry, I forget who said it, but he seems to be trying to double down on this. I saw a statement, I want to say it was on Twitter, where he says, I've never seen one like that before.
Well, then he's a fucking idiot. People, it's a knot. Even if it looks like a noose is still a knot. It's designed for a specific function. And like Becca said, I'm 100% in agreement. This is looking for controversial shit. It's lame drama whores.
As far as looking for controversial shit, at least this one, like I said, I can understand. Which is why you ask questions. You don't immediately go blasting.
Yeah. This is bullshit. First of all, it's a fucking microscopic knot on a door that's clearly designed to pull the door down. You put any weight on that, you're not going to hang anyone. Sorry. This is dumb. Somebody probably only knew a couple knots, and they used something similar to a noose knot for some dumbass reason. Well, in the South, but
real quick, Cult of Krill, thank you. If one of Bubba's team doesn't understand how a garage door works, then he needs to be fired on the spot. I agree. Here's the other thing. Because as I said, there's pictures showing up now, reportedly, that show this same kind of knot being used all the way back in 2017.
Yep. Tell you, it's somebody that works there.
Or let me throw something out at you, Jack. Maybe it's a tradition. And maybe it is one that comes from some weird racist shit, as NASCAR itself does. And I know there's going to be people mad at that. NASCAR doesn't come from racist. Stop it. It was drunk-ass hillbilly racists.
That was rum running.
They were bootleggers.
Yeah.
In the South. In the 20s. I feel comfortable calling them racist.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just I'd have a hard time drawing a direct parallel.
No, but here's the thing. Okay. Confederate flags became a big thing in NASCAR races because it's a sign of the South. And maybe, just throwing this out there, that's how they decided to start wrapping garage doors. Maybe it started as a joke. I honest to God don't know. However, see, I told you, not racism. It was all those really not racist people in the South in the 20s.
Well, a noose is really just a glorified slip knot. Like
It
Ryan
is.
said it in chat, I think. So I just think this is searching for something to be offended by. This dude needs to toughen up because he's not going to make it in fucking driving in circles.
Well, again, the original thing, I don't have a problem with. At this point, what you do is you come out and you go, look, guys, I fucked up. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to cause more racial animus. It just, I'm a black guy. I wasn't aware. That was the first thing I thought because of Noose. Or that's what my team thought because I'm a black guy. And that's where your mind might go to.
Yeah.
It's reasonable that you see a noose and you think somebody's trying to scare a black guy. But we just had this story the other day, Jack, in New York City. I forget the park. I can't remember if it's in Central Park or not. But they found 5 nooses hanging.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Except for it wasn't 5 nooses. There were 5 ropes that had been tied there to help people exercise. It was a rope course. And they were taken down. And was it in New York? Maybe I'm in Oakland. Thank you. I'm sorry. It was in Oakland. The mayor of Oakland came out and said intentions don't matter.
Yeah, they kind of do. Because anything could be construed as racist. Knots are racist now, you guys.
Jack, it was hung there by a black guy.
Yeah, a black guy from what sounded like a foreign country.
A black guy darker than Satsu.
Yeah, he was like super black. And he even like was upset that they were taken down, and I would be too. They're clearly not nooses. Again, not big enough. Noose making has gotten really lazy if this is going to be the standard we're using. They're diminishing the effect of what was done to blacks in the past. And they're minimizing the true horror of what some of these poor victims of the Klan and other groups actually experienced. And that's what really sickens me about this whole thing is there were some barbaric things done to people by the Klan, and this just diminishes that with these bullshit, nonsensical trivialities. The people are such fucking pussies now. If even remotely 1/10 of what people experienced of actual oppression in the past happened now, they would flip their shit in fear and cry.
I want to read you a tweet that I saw today, Jack. Before that, Frank, thank you so much. So we should cancel Slipknot because of nooses. Yes.
Probably.
Obviously, Slipknot is a reference to hanging black people. Thanks for going with me on that.
I don't know how to respond. I don't know enough about the band to crack jokes on them.
I'm just going by the name. People often assume I'm unaware of history and evils of racism in the past. No, I'm very aware. And millions fought so we don't have to experience that hell. So in my mind, it's disrespectful to carry on like it's still 1940. Opportunity is everywhere, and nobody will stop you.
Yeah.
I just like that what you were just talking about there reminded me of that. Zuby posted that today. And you're right. I mean, you're actually diminishing what really happened.
Yeah. The people sacrificed and risked their livelihoods, their careers, their very lives to try and get to where we were 10 years ago with some semblance of equality and getting along. They're just flushing all that down the toilet with this bullshit stuff.
Yeah, people keep telling me Bubba doubled down on Don. I'm not going to be able to see it until after this. I'll take you guys' words for it. I did see that he'd made some quote and that had been tweeted out where he's like, I'd never seen this before. Like, dumbass. Just because you've never seen something before doesn't mean it exists. They literally have pictures. They have pictures that this has been there at the very least since last year.
Yeah. It's a fucking pull rope on a garage door. Any retard can see that. And I mean, that's why blue collar people are really getting fed up with this shit. Mm-hmm. Because Any factory worker could take one look at that and be like, "That's a pull rope. What are you talking about?"
Well,
And then
black
be called a
people are pissed
racist
off.
for it.
They're increasing studies. It's not just white blue collar workers. Just black people in general are tired of the shit.
Yeah, they
Poll
should
after
be.
poll have been showing this.
It affects them the most. They're building racial animus, and if they don't knock this shit off, we're going to have a resurgence of the Klan, whether they have a new name or not. That's what's going to happen. You start canceling people for these trivial fucking infractions, and you're going to drive them right into hardcore racism because they won't be able to get a job. They can't pay the bills. They got nothing left, and what are they going to do? They're going to get bitter, and they're going to be resentful. And this is the type of shit that, and you see that with your friends. You see when your friends get fired over some bullshit nonsense and they're labeled a racist and they can't pay their mortgage. They lose their house, family, whatever. It's a real thing. It's really happening. And you're going to create the villains that you think are everywhere. And you don't understand, you pussy little crybabies, what kind of torment and hell you can unleash. Anybody that remembers like the people the civil rights workers trying to go to the South and register people to vote, and they were getting lynched. The white guys that were trying to help the blacks register to vote and actually pass the civil rights bill and sign people up for things, they were getting executed by the Klan. That's the type of shit that you're pushing for. You're pushing people into this corner where they're going to retaliate, and it's not going to be pretty. And these pussies do not understand that. I know that sounds conspiratorial to some people, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm getting sick of this shit. It's getting out of hand.
I'm going to be a little even more conspiratorial. I think for some of them, at least, I think that's the plan.
I wouldn't be surprised because it almost looks that way.
Because you can't, when you have nothing to point to, when all you have is what happened to Jesse Smollett and poor Bubba Wallace here. And I'll go one even further to what happened to George Floyd. You don't really have that much.
No.
You have two cases that are complete bogus. And in the third, you don't have any systemic racism. You have 4 shitheads who murdered a man.
Yeah.
With no indication that had shit all to do with race.
And they're turning criminals into saints.
Yeah.
And more often than not, because they're desperately clinging for this stuff. But it's effective for a short time.
Even with that, I think they understand, the race hustlers understand that they've lost. That despite their best efforts, the world isn't as ugly as they wish it was. And so they're pushing it that way. I saw a guy, I forget his name, he's on Twitter. He's some shithead who he likes to terrorize women. And let me explain how, Jack. Today, or maybe it was yesterday, some woman cut him off and gave him the finger, which is weird. She cut him off and gave him the finger and called him the N-word as they're driving.
Oh, right. That totally happened.
It's amazing he was able to hear all that. She's in front of him now, yelling the N-word loud enough that he can hear her. That's almost unbelievable. Carlos Dillard is his name. Thank you, Keeperdam. This has become, he follows her to her house. Follows her to her house and streams out not only her license plate, but her address. And he's been doing this apparently for a little while now. Apparently, every time he's on the road, somebody calls him an N-word, and it seems to almost always be a woman.
Yeah, magic how that happens. Is that video that was circulating today?
Probably.
With the lady trying to cover up her license plate, crying.
Yes, probably. Is she in like I want to say she was in a pink dress, but I could be wrong about that. Yeah.
I thought it was fake.
It's real. He runs around terrorizing women.
Damn, that's fucked up.
It's okay. He's doing it for racial justice.
Yeah, he's not doing it for racial justice. He's doing it because he's an asshole. Under the guise of racial justice. Real quick. Thank you, Shiagrath. Before was, is. Think about it. Also, howdy, bigots.
And Kylus, yes, despite recording everything, he doesn't get the infraction on camera. He never does.
No. Look, that's another problem is you've got a lot of people abusing actual racial injustice to self-gratify their hatred and bigotry of their own. I don't know, man. I don't see this ending well if this sort of shit keeps up because the media is constantly hyping this stuff. They're getting people worked up. Places like Twitter and their little echo chambers are getting people worked up. You got people running around creating fake infractions like it sounds like this asshole does, and that guy that beat the shit out of some rando Macy's employee. And people will believe it, and they'll perpetuate that lie. We still hear about hands up, don't shoot, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
And Trayvon Martin and all that other shit. Look, you can't keep deifying scumbags and then going out and burning shit down, and there won't be some kind of response eventually. You're high if you think that.
I see those things they can keep doing. I don't think that'll cause too much of a thing. It's when you're costing people their jobs, especially over something minor. There's that guy getting the shit beat out of him. What was that, Macy's? Because he supposedly dropped an N-bomb. That guy just beats the fuck out of him.
Yep. Look, and what's sad is like these women that are getting shamed, they could lose their jobs just on the assumption that they're bigots because people are going to flood their work with phone calls and call that why you hire racists. Why do you keep these racists around? And companies will fold like a cheap suit. They don't fucking care. So they'll get rid of you in a heartbeat. And you just lost your entire livelihood and probably a lot of your friends because people are calling you a bigot. You don't actually have to be a bigot. They don't have to show any real evidence. They just assign the term to you like a scarlet letter. And suddenly you're branded and shamed. And anybody that searches your name for the next 30 years is going to see that come up.
Monk missed that Jack just mentioned that story to him. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No worries.
I missed the connection. The Count Dankula said on Twitter yesterday, well, today, whatever you want to call it, that the best recruiter for the far right is the far left.
Oh, absolutely.
There was a rebuttal to it. And I want to go over this rebuttal, Jack, because it's actually the kind of thinking that's causing the problem, or at least helping perpetuate it. And I argued with a lot of stupid people today, so I have to scroll for a moment. People were very argumentative today, Jack. Wasn't just me this time. Where the hell is it? Right here. The response was, this argument is so tired. We're going to go over each one. We can break up her tweet. I don't give a shit. Here's number one, Jack. If you change your political belief system because of how some people behave, you held no convictions to begin with. I don't necessarily disagree with that statement.
But there's always more.
But I don't think most people are that principled. I think a lot of people's principles are based on the circumstance they're in at that moment.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Isn't that the theme of Trading Places?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you get pushed hard enough, you can do things that you would, under normal circumstances, never do.
Yeah.
And when you're pushed to the point where you're not allowed in polite society because you've been deemed horrible, they got rid of Count Dankula today, or Count Donkula, sorry, Carpe Donktum on Twitter because of that video he made.
Oh, that's not surprising. And there will be like CNN out there trying to dox him next.
Oh, he's already been doxxed.
Oh, see?
And it's funny, every story that's written about him, they always mention his real name.
Of course. It's part of their unpersoning. Be sure not to associate with this monster.
Have their politics really changed, or have their racial prejudices been warped? I think I don't know. I can't answer that specifically. I don't know that their politics necessarily change, in that to me, you also have to define the far left. I don't want to say this. I think a lot of the times when you see the changes, it's somebody who's been burned by this shit, or somebody who's seen somebody that's been burned by it and they've just had enough.
Yeah.
And so they just try a little bit of common sense first. A little bit of common sense. Hey guys, maybe we should calm down on this one. And then what happens to them? They become the bigot.
Yeah, because this is an old commie tactic. You used to see this a lot with the Stasi and things like that. You turn people against each other, and you do that by alienating them, ostracizing them, and then they can be dehumanized and separated. And anybody that tries to stand up for them, they go too. And even just mild disagreement with the mob is going against the party. And that's what we're seeing now. This has got to stop. It's very unhealthy. You can't have a functional civilization with this kind of shit going on. It's incredibly dangerous. And the people behind it know that, but the useful idiots on the front line, the Karens and the whiners, the crybabies, they don't know and they don't care. They feel good getting even with people. They're punishing people. They're righteous. They're holy. It's disgusting.
If I remember, we'll read Thomas Sowell's tweet from earlier too. I want to get to her number 2 point real quick though. If you accept the far right's behavior more readily than the far left's, you already belong to the right. Now, I want to highlight what she said there. If you accept the far right's behavior. Now, I don't want to speak well of the far right because we know what they're talking about when they say far right.
Yeah, and nobody likes them.
You're racist, sexist assholes.
Yeah.
The actual ones, not the ones that everybody screams about. All 4 of them. Anyway.
Right? Let me interject something here real quick. 1984 said a second ago, Bubba said in an interview that his cousin was killed while unarmed by police. I read the court docs from 2003, and he had a Tech 9 on the seat next to him. So there might be a history this guy's got with like looking for racial stuff.
Was he killed in the car?
Probably.
Snubber, thank you. Vadim thinks Ben Shapiro is far right. Well, Vadim has his and his cat's head up his ass.
Yeah, Vadim's he's a special case. Let's just say he knows the flavor of all the windows in his house.
Vadim is a funnier Steve Shives because he can be funny. I'll give him that.
Yeah, oh yeah, he can be. It's too bad he's nuts.
But the only thing he's ever said that makes any sense is when he repeats somebody else's arguments against religion. That's it. He hasn't made any sense on any social issues ever.
Yeah.
Anyhow, to this point, the far right's. It's been my experience just watching that the far right is more accepting than the far left.
Yeah, because there's a path to redemption with the far right. Usually they tend to be a little more religiously minded with like certain Judeo-Christian elements because they tend to have like that like the Klan also hated Catholics because they were heavily Protestant.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always that like, well, you can change and join us mentality. Whereas the far left, once you are no longer pure, you will never be pure, and you must be cleansed. There's no path to redemption with them. You can never make up for your sins, and that keeps people from ever being able to reintegrate. And you're forcing them outside. Then, with the far right, they want people to join them.
Right, and there's also even if you watch their interactions, somebody on the far right will still talk to a black person. They might think that they're lesser than them, but they'll at least have okay, let me rephrase that. Many of them will at least have a rational conversation.
Yeah, and James. Sorry. Go ahead.
If you were thinking of voting for Trump, the far left wanted your children to kill you. Yeah,
they are more inclined to have your kids tattle on you and have you thrown in jail. The far right has such low numbers that they need that kind of recruitment where they can. So there is more of an option for redemption. It's just as shitty as a mentality, but they're a little more willing to talk to people they don't agree with.
Yeah.
There's too much censorious bullshit going on right now. It cannot end well. It just can't. There's anybody that thinks this is going to be something you can sit down and have a conversation about. If this nonsense keeps going, you're nuts, man. It's not going to happen. These people do not care about having a conversation. They care about winning and being right.
They care about pushing their ways. They care about destroying you. There's nothing about them that is redeemable at all.
Yeah, and you see this a lot with like religious zealots, real diehard cult types, like extremist Islamic extremists. I can't fucking talk. Don't judge me.
Yeah.
You see it with them. They're destroying statues. They have a lot of the same mentality. And you're either an infidel or you're not. And there is some chance for conversion occasionally, but most of the time they'll just behead you because they don't give a fuck. They know they're right. They are pure. They are holy. You are not. You are a filthy scum, and you will be subjected to their whims. The mentality is very, very similar here. It's a very cult-like mentality, and it's terrifying. And everybody should be nervous by this.
I wanted to get to what Thomas Sowell said. He wrote today, and as he always says, God, this motherfucker. I said on the show tonight, he's one of the few people I read that actually makes me feel stupid, Jack.
Yeah, because he's super smart. That's why.
Yeah, he really is. Virtually no idea is too ridiculous to be accepted, even by very intelligent and highly educated people, if it provides a way for them to feel special and important. Some confuse that feeling with idealism.
Yep. See,
motherfuckers, spot on.
Right? You cannot confuse an ideology with zealotry. Some people, it can be similar things, but people that have an ideology often are like, yeah, I mean, this idea is pretty good, but zealots, they're taking that to the 10th degree, man. They're really, really hardcore ideologically driven people are very terrifying, and you should be worried about them. He had a great book called Vision of the Anointed, and it was like 30 years ago he wrote it. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Because it was all about that feeling of specialness and making people feel like they're the anointed ones. Like we see a lot now.
Yeah. Soul has been writing and speaking for years. He's one of those people, when he first came out of college, he was hardcore liberal, Jack. He's talked about this. They ask you, what changed his mind, and is he being in the real world?
Yeah.
But more people.
Oh, sorry.
More people need to join him there.
Yeah, but now they're changing the real world to meet their insane ideas by infiltrating various organizations and bending in them. You see it a lot with corporations now. They're all the virtue signaling and shit like that, and people getting fired for nonsensical stuff. I don't know, man.
I'm being told that account is just somebody who puts his quotes up. Okay, so he didn't say that today. He said it sometime, and it was quoted today.
Yeah, it's very prescient. Whoever's running that knows his material very well.
Yeah, I try to seek him out. Anytime he's appearing on a show or something, I just love listening to him.
Yeah, he's got a great voice.
And he's smart. He's I'm trying to remember if I have disagreed with him on anything in my adult lifetime, and I honestly can't think of anything. I'm sure I have at some point, but he's an intelligent man, and by that I mean he thinks about things before he speaks, and has historical basis for it, and is paying attention to the world as it is now when he speaks. That quote about even intelligent people being able to embrace absolutely ridiculous ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, this is This is going to be kind of a weird example of that, Jack. But I always think back to Jon Stewart when he was talking about, God, what election was that? I can't remember. Maybe Dole, where Dole kept trying to come off as a man of the people. I'm one of you. I'm one of you. And Jon Stewart said, don't be one of us. Be better than us. We got swept away by the Macarena, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, as a species, we get hung up on some really stupid shit. And that could be as silly as a dance craze or as moronic as BLM.
Yeah. It's easy to get caught up because you want to be socially accepted by your friends, your coworkers, things like that. But you have to be a little more aware of what's going on around you, dig a little deeper if you don't want to fall into the mob.
Faithless, that is actually an excellent example. Ridiculous ideas like no such thing as biological sex. Yes.
Yep. And look at what they're doing. They're forcing that on people, and eventually they'll just rewrite biology books the same way they're doing with the history books.
I mean, they've just decided to redefine racism because it wasn't fitting the narrative, because the old definition of racism doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and they can do that because printed dictionaries are very, very uncommon now. You typically can't go into a bookstore and see more than one or two copies. Everybody uses the internet. You want to look up a word, you look it up online.
Yeah.
And that definition has changed, and they memory hold the original. And eventually all the paperback copies will be just forgotten or thrown out or rotting on some Goodwill shelf.
He was not around for Dole. You're thinking of Bush. Jon Stewart is older than 1996. He was a comedian back then. I swear.
Yeah.
Oh no, but to the point of the biological sex thing, you've now convinced a large number of adults that biological sex isn't even really a thing. That we're not actually sure. That science that has been around to the point where we've literally completely dissected the entire human body down to the DNA strands, Jack.
Oh, those are full of hate facts.
But we're not quite sure. We're not quite sure. And as Peter said, quote, I want leaders who are embarrassingly superior to me, Jon Stewart. One, he was making a joke, but two, I want you to think about your friends and how many of them you'd actually want to be the leader of the free world. In fairness, there's a lot of stupid people out there, Jack.
Yeah.
I know. I'm friends with some of them. Maybe you guys have better friends than I do. Men can't have periods or babies. No, Russian bot. That's not true. We've been told otherwise.
You monster, Russia.
How dare you? Of course, it's a Russian bot that would be saying that. You're right, but he was not on the Daily Show back then. I didn't say it was on the Daily Show. I said I thought back to Jon Stewart. It's actually from the stand-up he did right before he went on the Daily Show.
Back for the Daily
People got to stop guessing what I'm saying, Jack.
No, that's not going to happen.
Oh, God. I want to get to that, what Snubbert had said to you earlier, but I forgot what that was about.
Oh, the
sex thing.
Yeah, all the allegations.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
I want to talk about a couple of things. First, I have to find that one tweet. I forgot who it was that sent it out. He's the guy. He was a lead on was it World of Warcraft or Warcraft 3? One of the two. I always forget his name. I follow him on Twitter just because I saw him one day. Grums is what he is on Twitter. GRUMMZ. He asked a question today, and this is what he asked. What's the best way to ask someone out in the era of cancel culture and online witch hunts safely?
Don't.
There is no safely.
Yeah, that's why you don't ask them out ever. Stay at home, watch porn, and play video games.
If you're a man, because the standard these days is unwanted attention. That's what it's become. Unwanted attention. Thank you, Snubbirth. I did tag you two in a tweet of one of the Gwenpool people, his accuser specifically.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Anyway, I forgot what I was saying.
You're talking about the guy asking chicks out.
Oh, yeah. In the era when the standard is you can't give them any unwanted attention, because if you do, you are either taking up their time or, especially if it's in any kind of workplace scenario where that's sexual harassment. The only thing you can do, literally the only thing you can do, is hope they ask you out. That's it. You can leave stacks of hundreds on your desk and maybe they'll ask. But otherwise, there's nothing you can do that's going to make it safe, because you're not allowed. Work isn't for that, you guys. I hear that so often. That's not professional. How dare you ask Sally out? That's not professional. They're leading to the end of the human race, Jack.
No, they're leading to societal collapse, because this shit can't keep going.
Well, the end of Western society. Eastern Muslim society will be just fine.
Yeah, because it'll probably conquer us at this rate.
Chinese society will be just fine. It's just Eastern or Western philosophy that's going down the toilet.
Yeah, I don't think they understand how damaging this is to the culture as a whole. If you want to go back to a patriarchal society, this is how you do it, because you have such chaos from people not being able to socially interact safely with any degree of no risk, I guess, so that another culture will come over and be dominant, and it will take over this sort of weak, shambling mess that we have now. It's just not something feasible. You can't have a successful society with all the weird, ever-changing nonsense rules that we have. Something else will come along and destroy it. I'm sorry, you can't have a weak society. It just doesn't work.
I don't know what happened with the comic people. Frank Hubbard, thank you. Why do we seemingly need struggle? Well, we do need struggle. Otherwise, we get bored and have to make it up.
Yeah, that seems to be pretty consistent. We need a challenge.
Evolved Potato, you're not correct there. He says you can only ask out a woman if she finds you attractive. Even that's not necessarily true.
That's not safe anymore either.
No. You're still taking a 50-50 shot there. But I don't know what happened with the comic folks. But I've seen enough of these instances where people got in trouble for the most mundane shit.
Yeah.
Just asked her out. Oh my God. There should be some kind of reasonable standard. If you're going to have this stupid stuff, some kind of reasonable standard where if somebody asks a woman out or a woman asks a guy out, you pull them in and go, what did he say to you? He asked if I'd want to go to dinner. Get the fuck out of my office. That's not harassment.
Yep.
Now, if the answer is, he showed up at my house unannounced at 2:30 in the morning, I never gave him my address. Okay, that's weird. But if all he did was say, hey, Sally, you look cute today. Would you like to get some coffee after work? That's not harassment. And it shouldn't be construed as such. Snubber, thank you. Without struggle, we stagnate. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think we do that to ourselves.
I think that when people don't have a common goal, then then the struggle turns inward and we start attacking each other. Because people will work together despite their differences when there is a common problem to be fixed. But if they don't have that, then, I mean, look at all the different types of people that came together to stop Mussolini and Hitler, the different ideologies there. But when you don't have a common goal, you don't have people that the people will look for something to be upset about.
I think even in times of struggle, you'll find people who want more struggle. Because I think what the problem becomes is kind of what Soul was talking about there. They want to feel important. People want to feel important. They want to feel like they're doing something.
Yeah, and these days we've puffed people up so much that they already think they are important, but they aren't feeling important. So their greatness is not being recognized. Don't you know how special I am? Don't you know who I am?
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. I think that's a big problem today. Is we've made people so overly pampered with awards and trophies for shit that means nothing.
Pussies.
Yeah, we've made giant vaginas, but we lay accolades on them for the most trivial, menial things that they expect that, and they expect to be treated like greatness because that's what people used to be given awards for. There's still the idea that if you have an award, it meant something. Even if it just says participation, now they still have awards, but they're still a barista at a fucking Starbucks or something. And that kind of burns into resentment for some of these clowns. So getting that little visceral dopamine hit from saying something mean on Twitter or canceling someone, that makes them feel important because they are important, don't you know?
Real quick, speaking of important nuts, thank you for dropping our Streamlabs link. Guys, we're brought to you by you. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and throw money at me and Jack because we are important. Probably not to you, but we are important. Mr. Jones says, Bill Cooper always said they'd need an event to bring everyone together. I don't know who Bill Cooper is, but these days, I mean, even an event that go back to 9/11. Go back to 9/11, and if you look at the immediate aftermath, the first couple of days, there was a lot of patriotism, Jack.
Yeah,
a lot of it for about 72 hours. And then almost immediately, the haters had to pop up. It was Bush did it himself. It's an inside job, you guys.
But even then, that was a much more minority faction compared to what it would be now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have cultivated this culture of divisiveness, and the identity politics has really seeped in a lot deeper than people seem to think. And it's permeating our society. These people are embedded now, and nothing will make them happy. They have an emptiness in their soul that they can't fill. And it's just filled with anger and resentment instead of whatever it is they're missing in their life.
Apparently I've lost a lot of cred, Jack. I didn't know I had cred.
Oh. How'd you lose that if you didn't know you had it?
I'm guessing because I didn't know who Bill Cooper is.
Oh. That'll happen.
No idea who he is. Frank, thank you. You forgot. I know 3K died, but think of the poor Muslims. Oh, yeah. That actually took a little bit longer. That took a week or so before the left finally was like, the leaders on the left, all right, we got to be careful how we talk about the Muslims.
Yeah, then there were a bunch of bogus hate crimes that turned out to be fake.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong that it would be even worse today, but that's why I've heard that a lot. You know, America will come together when we need to, and if ever there seemed like a time to do it, that was the time. But almost immediately, just nope. And this is why I say the left is worse than the right, you guys, because I don't think that would have happened if it was the left in charge. I honestly don't. And the left responding to it. I honestly don't. I think for the most part, there might be some questioning about some moves, but I don't think it would have been, you guys just want to kill Muslims.
And a lot of it is there's no sense of community anymore. You don't.
There's not.
You don't belong to your town, your city, whatever. There's no sense of social interaction really with people in your immediate area. You don't go to the same church if you go to church at all. You don't have these communal events that you used to go to, Lions Club, whatever, Rotary clubs that people used to attend. So you don't get to know the people around you. So alienating them is a lot easier. It's a lot easier to say, that person's not me. I don't like them. But they don't believe exactly what I believe.
We have our online political teams now.
Yeah.
That's what, and you better be, especially if you're on the left-hand side of that pendulum, guys, you better be solidly on board. You fuck up even a little bit, and you're kicked off the team. Look at what's happened to Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin is still an actual lefty. He's still mostly left, but he questioned things just a little bit, and he's a grifter now, you guys. He's a grifter that nobody should ever watch. He's just a grifter, grifting. Like, y'all are fucking retarded. Lacey Green came out and said she was just willing to talk to people who disagreed with her. And they called her everything but holy. It's weird to watch.
It's not changing, man. It's not going to change. Look, there were 3 big cancellations in the comic field. Somebody from the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund, the executive director, stepped down over sexual assault allegations. One of the writers, Warren Ellis, was canceled because he dared to say some inappropriate things and hit on some women. They called him a groomer, and they made some 20 years ago would have been serious allegations. And now we're like, well, it doesn't mean what you're saying it as. So, yeah, then there was this other guy, Jason, who I'm not particularly familiar with, but this stuff's getting worse, and it cycles around. And what's sad is you can kind of, if you pay attention, you can kind of spot who the problem people are. I want to show you a picture real quick.
Okay.
Now, can you see this?
Yibbers?
All right, you see this woman here? That's a woman. Would you ask this woman out in today's society?
Oh, God, no.
All right, well, that was the mistake this gentleman did. He tried to ask her out. That's the most serious allegation she really levied at him. She tried to dress it up and embellish it a little bit later, but he asked her out and it made her uncomfortable. Sorry, you have this shaved side of your head. You have the SJW haircut and the problem glasses. There's no fucking way I would ask you out.
No, I wouldn't even offer you a drink.
I would try not to make eye contact with that person at this point.
If she said, could you get me a glass of water? I'd say, fuck no.
I'm sorry. That makes me uncomfortable.
You're catching a charge with her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that guy got canceled. He lost a lot of work and got regulated to the middle of nowhere comic industry. Like the small companies you've probably never heard of. So that guy, for about 10 years, his career was effectively in the toilet. And he's only now starting to kind of build his way out of that. And even then, he's still working at like Image and the other third-tier publishers. He'll never work at Marvel and DC again.
Because he asked her out.
Yeah, because he tried to hit on her. And, I mean, he's a writer, and he's a comic book writer, so he's probably a pretty awkward nerd. And she didn't like what he had to say, so get him out of here. And yeah, it's been a long, lonely decade.
Zombie says he'd smash her because it's been. Look, I don't think she's actually ugly. I think somebody said it a moment ago. That's a cobra warning you it has venom.
Exactly.
Chauncey, thank you. I'd get her a glass of water from the toilet. She's gonna be. What does that taste? Do I taste roofie? Don't do that.
No, I wouldn't hand her anything that wasn't sealed.
Nope.
If you're going to give her a drink, make sure it's fucking sealed and there's witnesses watching you move it from place to place. Witnesses you trust, not her friends.
I wouldn't hand her a glass of water from her own fucking desk to her hand. No, that's a charge right there is what that is.
Yeah, the Cobra analogy works really well. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad because and I guess now she's got breast cancer. So bummer for her, but I feel sympathy for your situation. But yeah, I don't particularly like you as a person. And yeah, you have to be careful with it. Just because you're attracted to someone doesn't mean you should ask them out at all.
Well, I want to kind of, this is a similar subject, Jack, and we can bring it back around. But I want to talk about one more thing. It's in the title, Justin Bieber. I saw a tweet that Sinatra had responded to. And I can't read it now because the woman has protected her tweets. She blocked anybody who commented to her. I didn't comment to her. I commented to Sinatra, so I was hoping that I'd still be able to read it. But then she went and protected her tweets because she said something really fucking stupid. What she said was last night, probably about this time, maybe a little bit earlier, she starts losing her shit on Twitter, Jack. She just can't take it anymore. She can't believe this is happening. She's going to have to get off Twitter and go for a walk or something because I can't believe this shit is happening. Just because somebody can discredit a woman doesn't mean you shouldn't believe her.
What?
Yeah. I am only barely paraphrasing.
That's stupid.
Oh, wait till you understand what happened. This is what she's upset about. Justin Bieber was accused of rape.
Whoa.
Yeah. That he had forced his way into a what was the hotel? Hang on a second. Four Seasons Hotel. And forced himself on this chick back in March of 2014.
Wow.
Except Justin has the receipts that prove that's not even possible. He wasn't staying at the Four Seasons. He had an Airbnb. Oh, wow. And he has all the proof of this. He has proof that this bitch is lying about him. And this crazy cunt over on Twitter is upset because Justin Bieber was allowed to defend himself against rape allegations by having fucking proof that he couldn't have done it.
Proof means nothing to these people. They already have an idea. They were told it's true. They implicitly believe it, and that's the facts. You went against the narrative with your evidence.
Well, she had two really long threads. That was one of them. And then today, Jack, she felt much better. You know how she made herself feel better? I swear to God, I'm not making this up. She delivered food to Chaz. Not a guy named Chaz, to the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone.
Yeah, I don't. She has no credibility to me ever.
And she hugged her friends. She called up her friend, and it was a male friend who drove her there on his motorcycle. And they went and they picked up food for those people, and she got to hug a bunch of people.
Ew.
Hang on, she says this because she's some kind of game. She's in the game industry.
Of course she is.
In her bio, she says that she's working on an undisclosed game. But she says this as she's talking about her struggle. I don't care about the connections. I don't care how important you are. Enough. Anybody who isn't willing to take any amount of responsibility is out. If the people who have abused me will come out and discredit my stories, so be it. I don't care.
I'm still going to lie about them.
I want to read that again. If the people who have abused me will come out and discredit my stories, so be it. Not try to discredit my stories. If they come out and discredit them, they come out and prove you're a lying cunt, so be it. Now, do you know why her tweets are protected?
Yeah, because she's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, whichever game company is currently employing this bitch, good luck.
Yeah, that's a liability and a half right there.
It does. Anybody who isn't willing to take any amount of responsibility is out. And remember, this is in the context of Justin Bieber having proof he did not rape somebody. But apparently he was still supposed to take responsibility?
I guess that's fucking insane.
He didn't even ever meet this bitch.
Wow.
She made this dumbass claim because she read somewhere that he had been there, but he didn't actually stay there. He was with Selena Gomez, who was his girlfriend at the time.
Who's
and they stayed
way hotter than this bitch.
What's that?
Who's probably way hotter and was put out.
I haven't seen the bitch in question here, but yeah. Especially for his age. I mean, she was like top of the line at that time.
Oh yeah.
Snubber, thank you. If he floats, he's guilty, right?
That's pretty much the mentality these days. These are witch trials.
Yeah, there's no evidence at all that he was there. Including apparently they still have, like lobby video. He was never in the place. And how dare he come out and prove he did not rape this bitch? This isn't even a he said, she said. This is a she said, he has proof. But you're still supposed to take that responsibility, Jack.
Yeah, how can you take responsibility for something that never happened and that some delusional crazy bitch wants to take? Because, I don't understand what she gains by lying like this. Aside from, internet pee-pee touches.
Oh, what does she gain? Everything. A book deal.
For what? Something that didn't happen?
His word against hers, except for all that proof.
Well, let's just ignore all that proof and listen and believe. Fucking retards.
Nuke Censorship says he should have replied with file a police report and then buried her. Well, actually, he replied with his side of the story and the fact that he is suing the shit out of her.
Good, he should. That's a serious allegation, and that will haunt him forever. I don't like Bieber. I think he's a complete dickwad.
Yeah.
And he looks like he smells like urine. But this is out of hand. It's ridiculous, and this keeps going.
Caramon, thank you. If he sinks, he's guilty. Yeah, he's just guilty either way.
Oh, yeah, he's been assigned to that by the mafioso. And that's the problem is, no matter if he does have proof, there will still be a lot of people that believe he's guilty because they'll say, fabricated those.
And there is why she did it, Jack.
Yeah, I just, from a moral standpoint, I find it incredibly appalling. I understand the financial motive, but you have to live with yourself. What kind of sociopath does this? It's fucking sick. I hope he sues the shit out of her and wins.
And actually, I don't like Justin Bieber. I've never liked Justin Bieber. I remember the first time I saw him, he was on a cover of a magazine. I'd heard the name a couple of times, and the girls who worked for me were all goo-goo over him. And I saw his pictures. It was like on People, and he looked like Florence Henderson.
Yeah, he's not an attractive man.
He's not. But he does, especially when he was younger, have very, very feminine features.
Yeah, chicks love that shit.
They do. And I pointed that out to these girls, and they're like, I'm like, okay, that is Mrs. Brady's hair. Don't make me prove it. And I'm like, look at his eyes, look at his lips. He has very, very feminine features. He could be trans for all I know. But yeah, they really do like him. I've never seen the appeal. I don't like his music, and I don't want to defend him. But I do want to defend people who are innocent.
See, this is another piece of evidence that we have slipped into some other alternate universe. And that the Hadron Collider has done something to our timeline because we're defending fucking Justin Bieber.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the hell? There's locusts in the Middle East and Africa. There's a pandemic. There's riots in the street over racial shit that's all ginned up. Antifa's running around. They're tearing down statues. And now we're defending Justin Bieber. What the hell is going on?
No, Sean, even my gay hair is like, I'm going to pass on Bieber. But this is the extension of what we're talking about with the comics and with what Grum's asked. It can go from something so minute, so meaningless, to blown up into actual rape charges for somebody you never even met. And there's going to be people out there calling for your head, whether you did anything or not, whether you have proof or not.
Yeah.
That's insane. Caramon, thank you. Girls thought Bowie was hot too. I don't get it. Money, 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 money. Because Bowie was ugly as fuck. Just money, guys. Yeah. Hazmat Boy, thank you. Don't forget about the cartels, Jack.
Yeah, it's just shit's getting crazy, man. This cats and dogs living together. That's right, James.
Demo Man asks who opened Pandora's box. I don't know. It was the opening of what? Tut's tomb? Of Tut's sarcophagus?
Yeah, the curse there? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Sons of bitches. They did that, what, last year? And look what's happening. I want to blame the collider, but, I mean, maybe it's the two of them together.
It could be. It could be related. Maybe the curse affected the collider.
How many men have been fired due to allegations? I wonder if there's a stat on that.
I doubt it. I bet it's a lot, though. Nobody wants to look at that. False allegations? No. They report it as fact, and then they move on. They don't give a fuck how the fallout works.
No, they kill themselves, and they move on to the next victim. Speaking of kill yourself, there was that spate, how do you say it? That rash, we'll do it that way, of black men found hanging in trees. Did you see that story, Jack?
I heard about it. I couldn't bring myself to look at it.
We were asked about that, or we told that somebody lived in a town where a guy had hung himself, and people were suspecting foul play because he's a black man who hung himself in his front yard. Yeah. Lots of people hang themselves in their front yard.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging is one of the two most popular ways men kill themselves. Men kill themselves far more than women. Gunshot and noose. That's how we do it. Well, there was one of these stories where the guy actually hung himself like right across the street from a city building of some sort. And like, this is proof it's that somebody murdered him. Found surveillance video. Guess what?
Killed himself.
Well,
there was a guy about 10, 15 years ago, I want to say, that died. He was hung, and he had a sign on his chest that said "Fed," and it turned out it was a suicide. But he was a black guy, so they investigated it as a possible hate crime.
Yeah,
and it was like 6 months to a year later they released that it was a suicide, and it was real quiet. You barely saw anything about it, but it was a big deal at the time. And that's the problem is suicides. It's rough. You don't want to accept that they killed themselves, but things happen.
Yeah,
and it's tragic, but it doesn't mean there's a crime there.
And we have a problem with smoke and fire, and unfortunately, when it comes to a suicide, when there's no note, a lot of people have trouble believing it. Families, especially, trust me, been there.
Yeah, and
you look for every other possibility, but it's another one of those things, man. Video evidence. It's all it would take. Even though this is probably what happened, there's no, sign of foul play, no ligature marks on the hands or legs, no like impressions in the grass of other people having been there. Nothing. Like, he's black. He must have been lynched. We have a problem with the crime must be there. And whether it's talking about what's happening to black people or what's happening to the women's, it's sometimes, Occam's razor is a rule for a reason.
Yeah.
The simplest answer is usually the correct one. It just is. Always? No. No. Well, usually. And apparently suicide is a white people thing. It's actually, I do believe white people kill themselves more than blacks do. If I remember my stats correctly. It's been a while since I looked at the full stats. But yeah. I didn't mean to get off on that. I just remembered that, and we had talked about it on the show before. So I wanted to update people that if you were worried about that rash of lynchings, at least one of them is on fucking camera.
And well, again, they're digging for shit that's not there.
Caramon, thank you. Nobody looks for defensive wounds. Well, they did. In the one that got talked about so much, I forget the guy's name. That I think he's 20 years old. Somebody in our audience had told us about it. Somebody in my town did this, and we talked about it that night. We've talked about it a few times since. It was immediately ruled a suicide because there's no indications of anybody else touching this man. Like, well, no bruising, nothing.
Not every tragedy is somebody else's fault. Sometimes bad things just happen. And this person did this to themselves. There's no one else to take responsibility for it. You can't just blame people or create a story because you're in pain and you don't want to accept what happened. It's awful, but people do kill themselves, and it doesn't mean that somebody else needs to be held accountable for that.
Ryan says suicide is statistically more common in upper to middle class, oddly enough. That's not odd to me. I bet if you look, depression is found more there too. When you take away strife, people get bored. And the bored mind is a horrible thing, Jack.
Oh, absolutely.
It can be incredibly inventive, and it can be incredibly destructive.
It's why the phrase is timeless. Idle hands are the devil's playthings.
Yep. And no, that's not me saying that people aren't really depressed. No, I'm saying that can lead to depression. Too much ease in life can lead to depression, I believe.
Well, you have to think most rich people I know are very unhappy. They don't trust people very easily, and a lot of people around them are, freeloaders or hanger-ons that just want stuff from them. Mm-hmm. And that does get to you. You don't have like good social networks.
Fables is too much time for personal reflection. Sure.
Absolutely.
Strife sucks, but it can be good for. That's why you need a hobby. You need something to take your mind off of everything else. Lucky for me, Jack, I just talk.
Yeah, this is what we do.
My hobby is actually very good therapy in and of itself. So that's awesome. I got like a twofer.
Nice.
Picked up a hobby that is healthy.
That's always good. But you should take up model railroading.
What's that?
Model railroading.
I don't have the dexterity in my hands.
That doesn't mean anything. You could just buy them and look at them. Takes the fun out, but
middle class whites most likely to be involved with the cult also makes sense.
Yeah.
Learn to code. I know how to code. It's just that's boring to me. Now, I like it when you're first starting, and then when you get to the end after you've worked out all the bugs and the code will finally fucking run. That's fun, but the middle part, it's just okay. I don't want to look for a fucking semicolon. I quit. I'm going to go do something more fun. I'm going to go play a game somebody already coded.
Yeah, let somebody else do that shit.
Yeah, indeed, man.
Real quick. Thank you, Frank. Coleman Hughes has a theory that the train so many jump straight to racism when it's a black person is how much slavery and civil rights are aligned into our heads throughout our education system. Yeah, I think there's a very big focus on slavery and civil rights, especially these days. So, yeah, I think that's probably a big part of it. They're trying to guilt people for stuff they didn't do.
I think, and I've been saying this for a while, I think a lot of people wish they were part of the civil rights struggle.
Yeah.
They want to be a part of that important struggle. How many times have you seen them? I don't know if you've seen it, Jack. I've seen it many times where people will say something to the effect of, my children will know what I did. Like, your children ain't going to give a fuck that you went to a BLM protest. They really won't.
No. You're going to. I saw some idiot on YouTube saying this. They're going to talk about us in the history books. No, they're not. You're going to be a footnote for walking around. It's like Lord of the Rings, only not exciting. There's no dragons. You're just fucking out wandering around in the street screaming at 2 a.m. You know who else does that? Drunks.
Yes.
And at least they're funny half the time. They're annoying, just as annoying, but if they're going to wake me up, they're going to be screaming about Pop-Tarts and hash browns or something. That's way more entertaining than out in the streets, march with us. Shut up. Go away.
Well, this is how you end up with, this was back in the 90s, but Jesse Jackson actually came out and said that racism was worse than at any point in American history. I'm like, you do realize there was a time you wouldn't have been allowed to talk because you'd have been in a field with chains on, right?
Right. The past is the past. You can't change it. But trying to improve your today's situation is one thing, but don't compare it to some of those awful, awful things.
Well, when you look at things like what Martin Luther King did, Martin Luther King marching through the streets, that was scary.
Oh, absolutely. You can see it in the pictures. They were scared.
He didn't have to burn down buildings to get police attention. He just had to walk calmly from here to there.
Yeah.
And they might turn hoses on you. They might beat you. They might kill you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now these guys, we're just like, no, you're not. Nobody gives a fuck. The only reason they're shooting tear gas at you is because you're literally rioting.
Yeah. The stuff they're complaining about is not oppression. Being told that, hey, you have to disperse, your guys are throwing stuff at us. That's not oppressive. Okay. You're being an asshole. Stop being an asshole.
Right.
And you're marching for things that have already been largely fixed.
Mm-hmm. Because they want to feel that they're part of something big. They keep getting told that it's so bad, Jack. It's so bad.
Yeah, but it's so not. And they don't understand how bad it could be if they keep pushing this shit.
Yep. Well, I think a lot of them would like it. I do. Because then there would be something to fight against. Then they'd have that dragon.
Yeah, but these soft little pussies they don't understand what it takes to actually struggle because they've never experienced hardship or struggle. They have the fucking $1,000 iPhones and nice clothes, and they're fed 3 times a day if they want it. Most of these are middle-class kids.
Yep.
They do not understand struggle or strife, and fuck them for minimizing real-world problems that people in other countries actually experience today because they feel like they're being oppressed. They don't know what oppression is. They wouldn't know it if they saw it because they're a bunch of soft, spoiled children.
Dude, I got to step away for half a second. Can you carry this for a moment?
Yeah, I can keep ranting.
Be right back.
So, yeah, I really get sick of this shit. It pisses me off. These kids are giant vaginas and not in the fun way, and they just cannot process anything beyond their feelings. I find that despicable. So frustrating. Yeah, oppression is a state of mind, but they don't know what it means to actually suffer. Their idea of suffering is this surface level concept because somebody told them no. Are you guys sick of this crap? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these whiny little babies. They never learned how to fail. Yeah, that's exactly it. They've never been allowed to fail. Everything is given an award for. You get a participation award. You get certifications for everything, little things you can hang up. They're never told to try harder, to better themselves. They can't get out of their own situation because they don't recognize that they're in their own way half the time. Yeah, suffering is not inconvenience, but they think it is. These minor little things, they're so fucking annoying.
Sorry about that, man. I peed right before the show.
Oh yeah.
Jack, if he's here before the show starts, literally right before I go live, the last thing I do is run to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But I just had to pee like a racehorse, man.
No, you were probably drinking a lot of liquids.
And my pee is very clear.
Oh well, that's good.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Cougar Knife, you're right. Failure leads to growth. You get better by failing. You get knocked down a few times. All right, how can I improve this? If you've never experienced that, you're coddled and you never try and get better at anything. Yeah, you got my pronoun wrong.
We have these kids. I mean, they've never experienced even losing a game.
No, because they don't keep score anymore.
And it's weird.
You're all winners.
Because not only is losing good for you, competition is good.
Absolutely. It makes you a stronger person. You learn to work for towards something, a goal. You learn what it means to fail and try harder. Or you like, hey, I'm not good at this, and you go do something else. You know, that's a genuine possibility as well. Like maybe this just isn't my thing. So, but they're told they're good at everything. Bitch, my high school wrestling coach broke my fucking neck. Yeah, that sucks. On purpose.
Well.
Yeah, but these kids, I mean, they're not experiencing stuff like that. Maybe a few of them, obviously, but I'm speaking generally. The fact that somebody misgendered you, suck it the fuck up. Life is full of challenge. That's nothing. But that's a big deal to them. They cannot get past these little pointless things that they feel are aggressive, like microaggressions. Why is that a thing? Get over yourselves.
Because they need that strife.
Yeah, but they shouldn't
have any.
You know, I guess they just I just think people are way too coddled, and this is not going to help society in any way with this sort of constant pampering.
Peter says, humble in victory, gracious in defeat. I'm a dick if I'm defeated. I'm very gracious winner, Jack, but if I lose, I'm like, go fuck yourself. And it's not really at the person, it's at me for not being better.
Yeah.
But when I win, it's like, oh, no big deal. Good game. I have to be good for me. It's not really about the people I'm destroying. Caramon, thank you. Hard times create strong people and vice versa. No, hard times, they kill off the bad, the weak.
Yeah. But the people that come through it are stronger for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a lot to that saying, because when people don't have something to try for or a reason to try, you get what we've got now, which is a bunch of whiny little pussies. And I don't have a lot of faith these kids are going to in any way better our society. There will be some people, obviously, but these protests and shit, I'm losing more and more faith toward humanity in general.
We're almost building a country that is asking to be taken over by warlords.
I've been saying that for ages, man. We're going to get invaded.
No, I'm not even talking about invaded. Look at what we have. You have some people, very few, but there are people who push their children to do well, who are fine with competition and put their children through it. And it's not everybody gets a participation trophy. It's like winning is good. You have those people. And then you have all the people who don't understand how to win, don't understand competition at all. So you have this one small alpha group, and then you have the sheep. You're leading the lambs to slaughter here.
Yeah.
It's literally what we saw in Chaz. It's like, oh, we're autonomous. We're all going to be peace. And why has that guy got a gun?
Yeah, we got rid of the cops. Haha. Oh, look, there's 5 guys with guns.
Oops.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
You become the ruled.
Yeah. Well, this is how we ended up with nobility and lords and ladies in the old days. You would have thought we would be past that, but apparently everything cycles around.
Thank you, Karaman. Without believing that to be true, there's less incentive to push through adversity. I was taught that lesson from a young age by a Marine. LOL. Well, it depends on the adversity. I mean, live or die, sure. But there's a reason the Marines are the Marines. Most people couldn't put up with the shit they go through, you know?
Yeah.
There are always people who excel, who when Zuby posted his post today about it's a disrespect from the people who came before us, stop acting like it's the 1940s. Pointing out again, it is counterproductive to tell most people that they can't do something, because most of them will be like, oh shit, okay, I guess I can. The number of people who are like, fuck that, I'm going to, just to piss you off, that's actually a small number.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's even a smaller number who get that mentality and do it. That's why we celebrate those people, because they are extraordinary in that sense. So anyway, I want to get to the Ron Jeremy thing. I saw a GIF right as I first saw this story. There was a tweet that said, when I see Ron Jeremy's tweet or trending and I figure he died, but then I look and see why he's trending, and then it's the Steve Carell from The Office called that face.
Yeah.
You know, that is the most apt thing I've ever seen in my life, because I did not in a million years expect it to click on there and see that he was charged with, what is it, 4 counts of rape?
Something insane like that, yeah.
Yeah, he's charged with, and not just sexual assault. No, I think it's 3 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault. And in those, he's charged with penetration with a foreign object, forced oral sex, and rape. I've never understood how women get forced into oral sex without a gun involved or a knife. Y'all know you can bite, right? Now I'm not blaming the victim here. I'm like, y'all, it's not like us. There's not much to bite down there on you guys. I mean, we could do it, I suppose, take off a lip or something. But y'all could just and be done with it. Anyway, if this is true, I hope he rots the rest of his disease-ridden life in prison. But more interestingly, I'm wondering if there's going to be a lot of women who come from his porn days, because he's not really a porn star anymore. He's an ex-porn star.
Yeah, he's like a producer or something.
And I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing a whole bunch of stories about Ron, misusing his wiener.
There'll be a bunch of what's the nice way of saying has been? Anyway, a bunch of former porn stars coming out. I'm sure there will, because they get some interviews or something out of it.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much to trust any of this stuff anymore, because there have been so many times where people have just straight up lied. Or it turns out not to be even remotely what they said it was, just for the accolades.
The evidence, or sorry, not the evidence. I just read that word in chat. The story we read on Lords of the Night tonight said his publicist or his agent, I think it was his agent, has let him go. But they talked about how during the Me Too scandals, his name came up, but they were able to prove all of those accusations false. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that this time, because apparently in those cases, the DA worked with them and went, yeah, there's nothing here. In this case, the DA is charging.
Wow.
So maybe they have a little bit more than last time. I don't know. I don't know what he did. I don't know what the specific allegations are, other than him forcing himself on some women. One in a nightclub bathroom, I want to say.
Gross.
And then another one, or the other 2 of them in a house or something like that. The only one I remember was in the nightclub bathrooms. I was like, ew.
That's filthy.
Yeah, that poor girl needs a hepatitis shot.
At least one. He fucked me in blackface. Double down.
I find it difficult to believe a guy with a big dick who gets paid to fuck for a living is going to be inclined to force himself on someone. Call me crazy. I can see anyone doing it. I even with a big dick, just because some guys are fucked up.
Yeah.
And when I say anyone doing it, I don't mean any man's capable of rape. That's not what I mean. There's nobody, if you go, we have evidence he raped, that'd be like, I don't see that as possible. I need the evidence.
Yeah, it's often about the power.
Yeah.
It's not about the sex. And look, celebrities are fucking weird people.
And have you seen him?
Porn industry, and that makes him super weird. And he looks like Lou Albano from when he worked on Super Mario Brothers cartoon.
He looks like Lou Albano. Did you see the pictures of him going around today?
Yeah, he looks like shit.
Like Lou Albano after a horrible 12-day heroin run.
Yeah. And if he's innocent, I feel bad for him because he's effectively been canceled now. The allegations will haunt him forever, just the same way they did a dozen other celebrities. But if he's guilty, throw the book at him.
Weird dude, always had that vibe. He should be treated fairly. Oh, I'm absolutely. I notice I haven't said anything about his innocence or guilt because I don't know. I would need to hear the more specific allegations. There's times we hear allegations and I'll immediately go bullshit.
Yeah.
Because like E. Jean Carroll, her allegations bullshit.
Yeah, because it made no sense.
It's not physically possible what she explained.
Yeah.
He fucked me in a bathroom in a club. Okay. I know people fuck in bathrooms at clubs.
Yeah. And it's really apparently considered rude if you like tap on the wall lightly and go, oh, in sync with the chick. That will get you thrown out of bars. Not that I know.
Not so much the dick part, the getting plenty of poon part. Again, have you seen him recently? Just because he's got a big dick doesn't mean anybody wants to put that in their mouth.
Yeah, he is a somewhat unattractive man, shall we say.
Yeah. I don't know how much money he has. I don't know what kind of drugs he keeps on him. You know, sometimes women will be like, I'll suck your dick for some blow.
And that's a good possibility that's what happened here. Or somebody trying to get ahead in the industry and they banged him, but he didn't do anything for him.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that sort of shit goes on. So you just never know with these Hollywood people.
I've just always wondered, was he the only big dick in town back in the day? Because I'm not going to lie, I've never seen an actual Ron Jeremy movie.
Oh, yeah. I've seen a few. Well, apparently the dude could have had like staying power, and that's a big deal in the porn industry.
I don't care. I don't want to see that when I'm trying to get off. I try not to pay too much attention to the dude anyway.
Well, yeah.
But if it's Ron Jeremy, even when he's younger, I mean, he just looks disgusting.
They used to call him like the hairy hedgehog or something like that.
Yeah, something hedgehog. Johnny the Wad is being brought up. Guys, I was being rhetorical with that. They're like, I know all the pornies from back then. Calm down.
Now, I've heard that he could suck his own dick and stuff like that, but I don't want to know that.
He looks like he'd suck his own dick.
Well, do you think he'd be disappointed if he didn't swallow?
Oh, probably punch himself in the face. He's just a disgusting man.
Yeah, and he's made an entire career off being a guy that was in the porn industry. He's made cameo appearances, stuff like that. He's probably still got a lot of pull in the porn industry because of his reputation and his name. So I'd be willing to bet that some of these chicks probably banged him for roles or contacts or something like that, and now it's this typical Me Too crap. But, we're not going to know until this goes forward, if it does.
Well, these are also old incidences.
Of course.
When are they from again? I know you linked this story. Let me find it again here. trying to remember what the time frame was. Was this in the 2000s? From 2014 to 2019. So not even that old.
Yeah, that's recent enough that there might be some credibility to that. But if these were from like the 90s or aughts, I'd be like, fuck you, you're making this shit up. You should have reported it then. Because I have trouble believing people that wait 15, 20 years to report something. You know, your credibility is just not that good at that point. I'm sorry, that's an awful thing to say, but how many of these have we seen where they're totally bullshitting us?
Let's see. The charges are he forcibly raped a 25-year-old woman at a home in West Hollywood. Do not go to West Hollywood, guys.
No, that's full of degenerates and weirdos. Stay out of Hollywood. It's disgusting.
How many fucking times have I seen the word West Hollywood in a rape story?
Right?
Jesus fuck.
That's like Rape Central.
They need to rename it Rape Hollywood.
Rapey Wood.
He also allegedly sexually assaulted two women, ages 33 and 46, on separate occasions at a West Hollywood bar in 2017 and forcibly raped one of them. In the fourth incident, prosecutors say Jeremy forcibly raped a 30-year-old woman at the same bar in July of 2019. So there you go.
Well, there might be some credibility here. I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore on these things.
If convicted, he faces 90-year sentence, up to life in prison. Well, 90 years would be life in prison for him right now. What is he, 60-something, 70?
Oh, he's got to be in his 60s by now.
67.
Wow.
67. It was his manager who had dropped him. We hope that these allegations against him are not true, but if they are, we hope that that he's prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Okay, when your agent comes out and goes, we hope he didn't do it. That's him going, maybe. I'm not going to say I was there. Maybe he saw somebody recording and he just put his dick out.
Yeah.
Look, again, we don't know any of the circumstances other than that. That's all that's been reported so far. So did he do it? I don't know. If he did it, I hope he goes to jail. If he didn't, I hope he's exonerated. But
yeah, you can't tell anymore because there's so many fake accusations. If these are legit, those fake accusations are diminishing real ones, and it's making us all question what we're hearing when it comes to these celebrity degenerates. Because celebrities are degenerates. I have no problem saying that. They're weirdos, and they always get caught up in these kooky scandals. But anymore, these days, you have to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt because there's so many fake accusations.
I do want to read what you sent that chick. What's her name? Laura. Lorua? I don't know how you say that shit. But I want to do something else real fast. Snubber, thank you. The excuses for not reporting are always the same. They asked what I was wearing or drank. They now have tons of tweet threads to peeps like Jack. I don't understand. They now have tons of tweet threads. All right.
Yeah, they ask some pretty invasive questions when you're going for the rape exam, but that's to establish, okay, did you have sex before? We need to be able to rule out your boyfriend from the DNA pool if there's fluid there. You know, that they're not phrased in a way that's supposed to make you uncomfortable. It's so they can continue their investigation and throw the scumbag that did it in jail. You should always report a crime. If somebody hurts you in that way, absolutely go to the hospital and get an exam and throw that piece of shit out into the wild dog prisons so that they could get annihilated and never hurt anyone else.
I saw a thread today from some woman who would she tweeted out different things that she said judges had said, although it wasn't all judges. And this is why women don't report rape. And she had like 9 or 10 things. And some really fucked up judges said some really stupid shit. But it was 9 or 10 people. over the course, if I'm remembering my time frame right, don't quote me on it, going back to the 90s.
So 30 years and you found like 10 incidences.
Yeah.
That's a statistical anomaly at that point.
She also said that the prosecution rate in the UK, was it? The UK and Wales? I think that's what it was. Is 1.8% or something like that. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah, that seems a little. Are they factoring in plea deals?
I don't know, but if you go, I went and looked it up, and I don't know how reliable these sources were, but she's actually not wrong. Out of 50, I want to say it was 58,000 cases, reported cases, there was only between 3,000 and 4,000 cases brought. I like, y'all system sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's what I was referring to. I think I tagged you. You may have.
It's the article he sent.
Which one? This Laura one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Faithless? No, they don't count Asian groomers. What are you, high? That's not a crime the Brits want to look at.
Actually, that might have been part of why the number was so high. The number of reported cases, because they finally had to report them all.
I'd be shocked if they factored that in, because they don't want people being all xenophobic or whatever against the child rapists.
Look, I don't know about over there, but over here, those numbers aren't even close. The conviction rate for robbery and rape is about the same. True story. Yeah, it's a murder has a much higher close rate, and that's usually because it's easier to, oh, you got blood all over you, you're carrying a knife, and your DNA is under their fingernails. Where rape is a lot harder to prove,
Yeah.
So often it does become a he said, she said. Now I feel like a weird thing to. I tagged you in a thread hours ago of going to police about rape. It's like one of 15 I've seen. Well, it's going around right now. There's a bunch of them going around right now because of the whole Bieber thing. Plus, you have a bunch of YouTubers have been accused recently. Apparently you have the one going on with whatever the comics thing is there, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's being a push right now. You know why? Election's coming.
Yeah. That's all Trump's fault.
Election's coming. No, but I did want to bring up something real. The thing that you sent. You said it's the one that he had sent, which is fine. I'm sorry I gave credit to the wrong person there. This just reminded me of something I read earlier, and not in content, just in looking at it. Armored Skeptic and Shoe on Head have broken up.
I heard that.
Greg was very kind in his breakup letter announcement. It was none of my business, but it was thrown out into the world, so I can talk about it.
Yeah, well, they made their relationship a very public thing, so.
Even with that, I mean, you can still, break up quietly.
Yeah.
People ask questions a year from now. You go, oh yeah, we broke up a long time ago, and they're like, oh wow, really? And yeah, it's we're over it. I mean, I get it, kind of that he was like, yeah, we broke up. He said it was amicable, and it had more to do with if I remember reading it, like not being able to see each other.
A long distance relationship thing.
Yeah. Good luck to the both of them.
I'm gonna continue to not care.
Frank, thank you. Said so. There's hope, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, Greg's all yours, man. He's down in the dumps right now.
He didn't seem too down in the dumps in that letter.
I didn't read it. I saw it and I'm like, don't care, move on. Look, she's pretty enough, but her politics fucking irritate me.
Dude, you know me and I love my drama. And so I had to go look.
Wasn't everything you hoped for.
See, I can't comment on it without saying that this is entirely conjecture. This is entirely conjecture. I think he's sticking his dick in someone else.
That's a possibility. I don't see him doing better, though. Let's face it, he was dating out of his class.
Well, I mean, I saw a picture the other day where he looks like he's desperately trying to look like Jason Momoa. I'm not kidding.
Excuse me a second.
Look, it's been nothing I can say is not mean to him.
He's dad bod Jason.
He okay. Don't be shocked. Okay, again, all conjecture. Don't be shocked if he turns up with like a 20-year-old YouTuber on his shoulder or on his arm soon. That's all I'm gonna say. And again, June, if you're listening, all conjecture, all just me. With what I read there, that was way too conciliatory for this to be like a breakup kind of thing. That just read like they're gonna see me as the asshole now, and it could be completely true what he said, that it was entirely mutual, and that they're both great friends still, and that's fine. But what I read, if I didn't know anything else about the situation, I'm like, ooh, he's putting his dick in someone he's not supposed to. Just how I read it.
Yeah, I mean, that would not surprise me whatsoever. Again, I don't really care about these people. I don't know them.
Join me in the drama.
Well, I'm trying to, but I'm thinking that look, maybe it's because her eggs are getting down here. I'm just gonna come out and say it. You know, she's aging, and those eggs aren't getting any fresher.
There was a really mean thing that somebody did. They posted a picture. Apparently, the Shoe and Armored hung out with Lauren Southern one time.
Nice.
And there's this picture of them.
Is it a three-way?
I don't know if they had a three-way or not.
I would have.
But Greg is quite clearly leaned into Lauren Southern and away from Shoe.
Oh,
I'm just like, that's mean to put up right now, guys.
Yeah, that is mean.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I
heard Lauren Southern came back.
Yes.
But I haven't watched anything. I've heard her politics have changed a little.
I don't know if her politics have changed. I watched most of her comeback video. She said she went away because she got married and had a baby. And she struck a more conciliatory tone. She was more, she made sure to tell you she's not a centrist, you guys. But she thinks we should be willing to talk to people more.
So there's a chance.
I suppose.
I'd bang her. I haven't seen her lately. That's why I was wondering, is she fat now or?
No. She's, if anything, she looks skinnier.
Oh, good, excellent. She's getting a little chunky there. Might have been baby fat or something. From the baby.
I don't find her particularly attractive.
I don't know why I do. I just want to have sex with her. I'm not sure why, but I totally want to have sex with her. She's
got weird Canadian vampire teeth.
I know, and I think that might be part of it.
It makes me want to, no.
But look, Canadian vampires are the nicest ones.
And if she didn't come out and tell us that she had the kid, and show a little pregnant belly there, I would have been perfectly willing to believe that she was actually a dude.
No, she doesn't look enough like a dude.
Yes, she does.
No.
especially a Canadian dude.
No.
Have you seen Justin Bieber?
Justin Bieber's not a dude. He's some sort of androgynous robot from the future sent back in time to destroy our civilization.
And she's his brother.
No.
And yes, keep her damn, she is legally male. That's true.
Yeah, and I'd go gay for Lauren Southern.
She's got manly features, and that Adam's apple is like, ooh.
But I'm not saying
That's an Adam's bushel.
I don't think she has an Adam's apple. Especially if she's got a kid. Where'd she get that kid? Did she just steal it from some indigenous people?
Look, man, she said she had a kid. I don't remember if she actually said she gave birth.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I have kids. I didn't give birth.
That's true. I don't know. I'd check the equipment before I did anything, but and there has to be a signed form anyway, confirming that you're not a dude. So that way I'm all covered. But look, I'm just saying that if the opportunity arose and she was feeling a little like less than attractive because now she's got a kid and those porters carry baggage, I would gladly tap that. And the kid can stay in its kennel or wherever kids go.
Pyrus Creed says, I saw her pregnant pictures on her Instagram. I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger with a pregnant belly.
Gross. Oh, twins.
Junior.
Junior.
Twins.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I don't see you guys. They're all mad because I said she had an Adam's apple. No, the real reason I don't find her attractive is she has that weird mouth. I would not be surprised, honestly, if they told me she was really trans. I wouldn't have been shocked because I do think she's manly enough that they'd be like, yeah, okay. But that mouth, there's something about it. Like, no, go, take that away. That's evil. Somebody made a deal with the devil for that thing. And she can't open her mouth all the way when she talks. It's so weirdly Canadian.
I never thought of that as a Canadian mouth before, or Canadian vampires. Hey, what are you doing, eh? You mind if I drink some of your blood, eh? Here, drink some medicine first.
I'm fairly certain she's related to Molyneux somehow.
Oh God, that's horrifying.
I think it's her dad.
Well, she does strike me as having daddy issues.
I can see that too. Now her sister's cute, very, very young, but at least she looks, feminine.
See, I didn't find her sister as attractive.
That's because her sister has meat on her bones.
Oh, you mean she's fat?
She's not. No, she's not fat at all.
Alicia Silverstone, fat.
Oh, God damn it.
She's
what is her mouth?
Yeah, she's just got a beer gut.
She's anyhow. Yeah, she's back. For those of you who like her, go watch her. If you liked her for her racist politics, and I know that she wasn't racist, monkey. Whatever. By all means, you're gonna want to beat off to the old stuff. But if you can deal with some centrism, then she might be right up your alley. I wonder if Stefan is going to disown her for that.
Probably. Maybe she's not racially pure enough or something. I still don't like that guy.
I hope she married a black guy. That would be great. Cryptic, thank you. Canadians' heads pop off when they talk. That is true.
I've seen that on a documentary about a small town in Colorado.
And it's weird. No, there's something about her mouth that I just it's I don't know, man. It's just evil.
I don't think that. Look, maybe she's a little bit leaning toward white nationalism or something. That could be a problem, but I'm not having a relationship with her. I just want to have sex with her.
No, that's fair. Look, man, if you're willing to put it in his butt, and you don't have to worry about his teeth.
Jesus, she's not a dude. Look,
you don't know that. Have you seen the plumbing?
No, but I'm going to inspect it to make sure that she doesn't have a penis. It's called the pull your dress up, honey maneuver. All right, we're going to do this. Pull your dress up. Let's see what you got.
You better be careful. She might just have a wicked tuck game.
No, I need to see openings. Look, how about if I create racial harmony by having sex with Lauren Southern and AOC at once? So we have a three-way of diversity.
Dude, that's a lot of ugly in one room. Why are you gonna do that to your dick?
I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for the world, monkey. I am a problem solver in my own head, not in real life. I don't solve any problems. I'm a total enabler. But I am here to try and create racial harmony through having sex with women that I find moderately attractive.
Your dick's going to shoot you. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Nothing wrong with being thorough. Indeed, you should be, especially with her, because you don't know.
Yeah, these days, man, you got to be extra special thorough.
Uncle Ira, thank you for Wicked Tuck Game. Thank you very much. You don't know, man. Every time I think of Tuck Game, I think of Ace Ventura at the end. Those aren't hemorrhoids. These are the worst hemorrhoids ever. Yeah. That and Butters when they're talking about standing up and mooning the teacher in the episode 4th grade. When he says, or should we tuck our wieners through the back and give her a nice fruit bowl? I fucking love that show. So we were talking about Lauren Southern's back. Oh, we were going to do this twit longer thing of this. This is her experience with Jason Latour.
Yeah.
This is my story of when I met Jason Latour. This is not about a rape or assault, but rather about harassment in the industry and the toxic environment surrounding it. Ooh, intriguing.
This guy is one of the co-creators of Spider-Gwen.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Caramon. Use the Crocodile Dundee greeting. Oh, indeed. But that won't work with a tuck game. It'll just you'd have to reach around the other side. You got to pull.
How low those hang.
If it's tucked, I'm telling you, you're not going to feel it. It's just going to be like there's nothing there. Tuck your wiener and feel.
I'm not doing that. Fuck that.
In 2017, I attended Thought Bubble in Leeds where I met Jason. Our first meeting was on the first night of the con at the bar where everyone from the convention mingled. He approached me and asked me, did I know who he was? And when I said no, he asked me, did I know any of his titles he worked on, including Spider-Gwen? I said I really didn't know who he was, and he responded by saying he would give me free comic books if I came to his hotel room with him. I declined, and after a brief conversation, went back to the group I had been sitting with originally. You continued to talk to somebody you just met who offered you comic books for sex.
Oh, no, just to come back to his room. That doesn't.
We know what that meant. Come on.
It may have just been comic books.
Come on.
Oh, I know, and you know, but
he was trying to buy puss. According to this, if this is true, which by the way, I have doubts already. You don't continue to have a conversation with somebody who tries to buy your puss with comic books.
Yeah, that's just sad.
What kind of nerd girl does he normally run into?
Apparently ones that'll be like, okay.
Wow. I mean, most of the time you bring comic books up like after you've got them hooked.
Yeah, like 2 years into your marriage.
Yeah, like when the vows are being said. Like, by the way, I have comic books.
Yeah, they're already all in, as the poker players would say.
I was a little shocked when this happened. Jason was twice my age while I was in my very early 20s at my first international con. Okay, I don't know. Did he tell her his age?
Probably not, but I don't know. Might have come up.
Like, look, baby, come back to my hotel room. I'm 40 and I really want to fuck you. I'll give you comic books.
My back hurts. Can you put some Ben Gay on?
He's got the best pickup game ever. I try not to think about it too much, or I try not to think too much of it, as I didn't expect to see him again after this. and joked about it with people I was with, even though I was uncomfortable. I'm getting tired of that word uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We read Am I the Asshole the other day about some guy who got a woman fired, if you believe the story, got a woman fired because she gave him his number. She was a waitress. And she told him she thought he was cute and gave her his number, or gave him her number. And then his parents made fun of him, and that made him really uncomfortable.
And he got her fired because she thought that he was cute?
Yeah.
Oh, what a fucking asshole.
Now, he lists 2 reasons for why he told the manager.
Because he's a Karen?
Well, this is very important, Jack. One of the reasons was because he thought it was unprofessional.
No.
Okay.
I get that, but she's like a waitress, right?
He's 20, and he said she was in her 20s and cute, by the way. That excuse is pathetic. I'm sorry. Yeah. Is that unprofessional? I suppose so.
Yeah, it's not like she's a fucking CEO. Like, here's my number. Call me if you want to close this deal, bitch.
Thank you, Shrouded Angel, who says, I'm uncomfortably giving you money. Where are you sticking it? Thank you. Anyway, the part that really stood out to me, Jack, though, is he lists these complaints in order. And he says first, and most importantly, was his parents giving him a little shit about it.
So, fuck you, dude. My parents give me shit about stuff all the time.
Because it made him uncomfortable.
Oh, life's uncomfortable. Suck it up, you pussy.
He's 20 years old. And his parents are making fun of him for a girl liking him?
First of all, yeah, that's something your parents would do because it's probably funny to them. And they know it makes you a little uncomfortable, so it's even funnier. But suck it up, you Nancy. Jesus Christ. Again, now I'm pissed off at young people. Stop being such fucking bitches. You fucking cocksuckers.
Yeah, and the guy, he said his sister thinks he's an asshole, but he thinks he was in the right. Like, dude, if this story is real, you are a raging pussy.
Yeah.
It made me uncomfortable. No wonder your parents make fun of you about a girl liking you. You're 12.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Even though I was uncomfortable. The next day when I went to the con, I passed by his table. And although he was doing some signings, he put up a sign saying he was on a break and approached me. This kind of thing would continue to happen throughout the con. He said he'd been a little drunk the night before and offered to get me a coffee. I accepted, thinking the whole thing would blow over, and I appreciated that he attempted to make amends.
What's the
bullshit?
Problem? So he's like, yeah, I'm sorry I was hitting on you. I was drunk. That was it?
Yeah, and bought her a coffee.
She accepted the coffee.
When we went for the coffee, he asked me for my email, my number, etc., and said he wanted to be friends. This is a strange dude who tried to get you in bed with comic books. Sorry, it's still killing me.
I know, right? Not even like I have drugs. He's like, oh yeah, I got the Death of Superman in my room. It's yours for a blowjob.
Want to see Spider-Gwen? Thank you, Cryptic. I blame Della Hayes. What he did. Did he write this shit? Anyway, where were we? He said he could introduce me to whomever I wanted. This person said, whoever I wanted, it's whomever.
Scribe?
It just bothers me because that's the one thing I know about English. I can't even speak the fucking thing, but I know whom.
That's awesome that's the one English grammar Nazi thing you've got is who and whom.
No. Whoever and whomever. Those are the only ones I know.
So specific, dude.
The only other one that I'm really big on is a lot. That's 2 words, motherfuckers. Anyway.
Well, that one should piss everybody off. That's totally acceptable. But whomever, first of all, how many people use that word? Like the word shall. So
Whoever sounds retarded, though.
I agree, but good catch. We're gonna get you into the grammar world yet.
Frank, thank you so much. She deserved to be fired for her taste in man. Yeah, I guess if you're talking about that poor waitress.
Yeah.
Anyway, whoever I wanted. Oh, Jesus Christ. That he was good friends with my favorite comic artist, and he would introduce me to her, and he said he would still like to give me some comics. Bitch, run! The last time he tried to give you that, he wanted to put his dick in you.
I think comics is code for roofies at this point.
Jesus, why would you take that coffee? Anyway, he mentioned he was sleeping with a girl in England casually, and that he was in Ireland quite a bit for conventions as he liked the Irish scene there. He suggested he could come see me if he ever came to Ireland. All right. Okay, Jack. Let's review. A strange old man walks up to her at a comic convention and offers her comic books if she'll come back to his room. She says no. The next day, he stops in the middle of a signing to go talk to her and buy her coffee. And while buying coffee, he gets her name, number, email, and just said he wants to be friends. And then casually mentions he's banging a chick in England and says, hey, I'm in Ireland. Maybe I can come see you sometime. There is no part of this so far that I believe.
No, even if it's 100% true, she still gave him the contact information, and it's obvious he was hitting on her from this description, but I'm not buying it. It sounds made up. It sounds like fan fiction.
Yes, exactly. It sounds incredibly made up by a teenage mind. Let's see. When we got back to his table, he gave me a few comics, which I ended up giving to friends at the con who admired him instead of reading them myself.
Yeah, because they're trash.
I had started to avoid the side of the con he was on, as I knew he'd approach me if he saw me, and at the bar in the evening, he would also be looking for me. Another woman who was in the group I was hanging out with at the convention told him to leave me alone and stop harassing me, and later a comic artist intervened when he approached me at the bar. The people I was with knew he was a pest and did their best to help me avoid him when possible. I spent my days at the con having a group ask if he had approached me that day yet, when I should have been focused solely on having a good time and connecting with people. Did you ever tell him, leave me alone?
It doesn't sound like it.
It seems to me if you got to the point where he knew who your favorite artist was, because did you catch that part, Jack?
Yeah.
I can introduce you to my favorite. He could introduce me. Sorry, I don't have tissues right now. I have paper towel. I had to blow my nose. But they got far into it enough that he knew her favorite artist. How else could he have mentioned that he could introduce him?
Yeah, no shit.
But this, I mean, there's nothing so far except for the original creepy thing, and for some reason bringing up sex chick in England, which I'm not sure what that has to do with anything other than that's kind of weird.
Yeah, who would bring that up? That's weird.
Yeah, I feel like we're missing stuff, or she's full of shit. Excuse me for 1 second.
Yeah. No, that's the problem with these stories. They're often heavily exaggerated, and they sound like a teenage girl wrote them in her diary.
Yeah.
Or on her blogspot page.
Yeah, indeed. I left the bar on the last night very stressed. I had Jason on one side at the bar and another guy I didn't know on the other side. who was also trying to start a conversation with me, saying he knew me from the con when he clearly did not. I found myself crowded in at the bar and started to panic. A comic artist came over and took Jason's attention away from me, and I left and got a taxi back to my hotel. She couldn't have left anyway?
No, because she was trapped there by invisible bonds of patriarchy.
Thank you, Caramon. Conventions are Me Too traps since Vic McNugnu.
That's really not far off these days.
Yeah, I don't know when this supposed meeting was. She doesn't say in here.
Look, I would be willing to bet these are based on real events, but it's like the TV movie edition. Like Hallmark made a movie about it. Because what probably happened was the guy was like, hey, you want to come up and I'll sign some comics for you for free? You know, he was probably an awkward nerd and he's trying to get to know her. And this is just my hypothesis. And he's like, oh, that didn't work. Okay, she took off with her friends. Then he's like, hey, you want to come get a drink later? And he's trying to be sociable, and she's taking all the cues in the wrong way and exaggerating them into these big, vast things. Because none of this stuff really sounds that. He wasn't like trying to grab her boobies or anything.
Jason texted me asking why I'd left early the next day. He said he was sorry if he made me uncomfortable. I again tried to brush it off, appreciating that he apologized. I also made sure to let him know I wasn't interested in seeing any of the guys in my messages. He asked me if we could say friends, to which I said yes.
Why would you say yes?
I don't know if you caught that part about him being able to introduce her to her favorite artist.
These are public conventions. You can just go up to the artist table and have him sign something.
Despite me telling him I wasn't interested, he still texted me on 3 separate occasions. Once asking if he could sleep on my floor in Ireland, and other times asking if I could come visit him at cons, joking that he would lend me the money to come when I said no to him. The last time he asked me about coming to a con, he texted, last chance for you to come hang out. Actually, it's not. I stopped replying to him altogether after this and blocked him on social media platforms. Some social media platforms. At that stage, I knew his apologies weren't real and that he wasn't actually interested in any form of friendship with me.
No, he's trying to bang you.
Yeah. And you kept replying. If we're to believe you, you kept replying. Ladies, listen to me. Solid no. Will that work on every... You know, there are guys who are a little bit shitbags, and a solid no won't work. When all he has to do is text you, don't answer. Block his fucking number.
Yeah, why would you give your number to a dude that you think is creepy anyway?
Yeah, that you gave to him because he bought coffee to apologize for offering comic books for sex.
Allegedly.
I
still don't. I'm not 100%. I've been around a lot of comic conventions. There are plenty of comic nerds who will be like, you want to come check out my comics? And they're not talking about sex. They're really just giant nerds. And I think that has to be considered a possibility here.
Well, in fairness, he offered her comics, not just to see the ones he had.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's still comic nerds at heart. He might have honestly been just offering her free comic books. You have to be around these comic people a lot more, dude. Trust me. That it's not just the probability is it was for sex, but there's also, I would say, a 25% chance that he was honestly just going to give her comic books.
I would say, given the fact that Spider-Gwen is how he introduced himself, according to her, that's the name he dropped. He was like, this chick is going to want to touch my pee-pee if I give her Spider-Gwen.
That, or I'd be like, well, he's gay then.
Perhaps. I had spent my first international con feeling uncomfortable, having to avoid a guy while I was at the convention itself, and also while I was relaxing at the bar with my friends afterwards. Do they only have one bar at conventions?
Usually they're at hotels. So, yeah.
Yeah, but usually their convention centers are in cities where there's other bars.
Yeah, but they usually just, most of the pros hang out at the bar in the hotels.
But she wasn't a pro at this point, was she?
No, but but he was. So I would assume they were probably just hanging out at the bar at the hotel or one directly near it. Because usually everybody kind of goes the same places. I don't know.
Well, if she had a group of friends and they knew she was uncomfortable and this guy kept showing up at the bar, go to another bar.
I'm not convinced she has friends.
I'm not convinced anything she says is real.
Yeah, there's that too. Real quick, thank you, Rob Liefeld, who said, "It was me, Jason," air quotes. My bad, I was trying to get her to model her feet since I suck at drawing them. That's that is actually believable.
We read that. I had a few small bad run-ins with different guys at Thought Bubble, but Jason is the one that sticks out in my mind the most. When I first arrived at Thought Bubble, I was bright-eyed and excited to network with people in the industry.
Okay, that's how that works.
See, there's a reason she was going to that bar specifically. Yeah. It wasn't just to hang out with friends. It was so that she could suck up to the people she wanted to.
Yeah.
When I left, I felt thoroughly disillusioned with comics and decided it wasn't all it was cracked up to be. It seemed to be a place where this type of behavior ran rampant. Because of one guy?
Because one dude hit on you, like, a lot. But
I'm sorry. She did tell us that there were a couple other guys. So a couple of guys hit on her.
Okay.
Man, guys hitting on you is horrible. Women, you poor bastards. It seemed to be a place where this type of behavior ran rampant and everybody knew about it, but you just had to deal with it. I felt like I had seen behind the scenes on how the comic community actually worked, and there wasn't a place for me there. I dropped my dream of becoming a comic artist shortly after and fell into depression while I tried to figure out how I could have my future still be art related. I've hardly read a comic since.
Oh, fuck off.
I originally wasn't going to name Jason or mention any of this, but the reason I'm posting it is because a statement Jason wrote about recent alleged allegations against Cameron Stewart came up on my Twitter timeline, and he said some things that really got me. He said he had been in situations with girls where he thought the ground was level, but failed to realize at the time it was not. How can the ground be level when you're approaching a young girl asking her to come to your hotel for free comics based solely on your name and your works? Sweetheart, welcome to celebrities.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit.
There are people on YouTube who do that shit. Seriously, they go to conventions and bang their viewers because they're YouTube famous.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea, by the way.
Yeah. Keep your dick to yourselves, guys. Seriously. But he also mentions how women want the time they invest in the comic space to be rewarding. And he goes on to say that sometimes they're looking for love, intimacy, and casual sex out of it. I feel he completely missed the mark on why people have been coming forward about the problems that they are having in the comics community, and is also putting the onus on women. Women aren't coming forward right now to fight for casual sex in comics. They're coming forward to fight for their right to be respected as equal coworkers and not be seen as mere sexual objects to their male peers. I'm not writing this with any intention to cancel Jason or harm his career. I'm writing it to bring awareness to the fact that young girls are coming into the comics community and being treated by this. Young girl, she was at a bar. I don't know what the where's Thought Bubble at?
I don't know.
It should really be, they should change the name of it. Honest to God. THOT. Anyway, there has to be a complete overhaul of this kind of behavior in comics. We need to look out for each other and put a stop to bad behavior instantly when we see it. There's no place. You just said you're not in comics. There's no place in comics for harassment, sexual or otherwise, and men in comics need to shape up and take responsibility for the fact their actions have a far more negative impact on women than they realize. Okay, let's say her story's true, Jack. She threw away her dream because a guy hit on her.
Yeah. For one thing, Thought Bubble appears to be in the UK. and I looked up a picture of this chick. She's not bad looking. I can see why you probably hit on her. Because I've seen.
Send it.
Oh, okay. Let me pull it back.
I don't see this bitch. I didn't pay attention to her name to look it up, and I've closed it.
Oh,
so.
yeah. She's using a moniker on there. I looked it up. Thank you, Jordan250. Some guy invited me to his hotel room for Streamlabs money. I woke up with a killer headache, but here you go. Thanks, Jordan.
As long as it's your head and not your bottom, you're all right.
You'll get that kidney back someday.
Men in comics need to shape up. Was she just fat shaming?
Sounds like it.
I think she's crazy. I do not believe her story, and I really don't believe that she left comics because this guy hit on her. Now, I will say this, and maybe it's different. These celebrities get it in their head that they're younger than they are. I have seen older guys who look rather old hitting on very, very young girls. And by young, I mean of age, but still like she's 18 and he's 60. And like, are you a wealthy actor? No, leave her alone. She doesn't want to touch your old wrinkled pee-pee.
Right?
Thank you, Caramon. Her closing statement lost all credibility with me. Her opening statement lost it with me.
Yeah, I think she's full of shit. At best, this is probably heavily exaggerated, or her memory isn't what it used to be. Things change situationally.
I would believe heavily exaggerated.
Yeah.
This is a chance for her to make this about her. I don't know what's going on with this other guy that he came out and stood up for him and said that sometimes he thought it was on even footing. How dare he think women were capable of making their own decisions, Jack?
Oh, right. They need to be coddled and cradled because,
I do not feel bad for a woman who sleeps with a celebrity because he's a celebrity and then he doesn't call her again and she gets her fucking feelings hurt.
No, that's on you.
He used me. He used his position to fuck me, and you let him. Did he rape you? No.
Oh.
Then you did it. Sorry. That's on you, whore. I'm sorry, slut. Yeah, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he tried to use his celebrity to get laid.
Yeah.
Do you have that picture of her?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm having problems running the browser.
Just shoot me your name in the private chat.
I sent it to you already.
Oh, okay. Oh, come on. She is not cute enough to follow around the convention the whole time.
Have you seen chicks at comic book conventions?
All right.
I'm just saying, we're on a sliding scale here because she ain't aging either.
These are the ugly chicks who's going to go fuck a dude for comic books. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Because that had to have worked up before.
That's the picture that came up. I'm not 100% sure that's the right chick. That's why I didn't bring it up on the screen.
No, guys, I'm not sharing this. Not with the stream. If you guys want to try to look it up yourselves, that's fine. But yeah, not sharing. She's not ugly.
No, she's just very average, and she's artsy type. You know,
in Kansas, she'd be like a 13.
Jesus, she's an average looking chick. Merle said, "I wonder what Aziz thinks about this." I'm sure he could relate. No, I think this is a heavily exaggerated. First of all, most of the stuff that he did was not that out of line. Yeah, he's a pervy scumbag, but he didn't like try and grab her boobs or anything. He was just hitting on her. And he did offer her comic books for sex or whatever. Like, that's a big crime. If
There's
I thought
nothing
that would get me laid, I would have been doing that for years.
All along the way, she kept saying yes, except for to the sex. You know, she kept engaging him. Don't engage him. She finally realized that he was only interested in her in sex for what? Because he kept texting you? And she says, that's when I stopped answering. But how many times did she said what, 4 times he sent that? 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
I mean,
Why'd you block his number?
wonder if she was a tease. Look, I'd be willing to believe all of this. Honest to God, I'd be willing to believe it all. Except for I gave up my dream of working in comics because of this. Because a couple of guys hit on her. Okay, looking at her, I bet she's gotten hit on before.
Yeah, I just found a better picture of her from a reliable source. I'll send it to you in a second.
Yeah, the idea that this was just such a traumatic experience that she's got to go back to Kansas, y'all. Sorry, I'm gonna stop. I'll stop with Kansas. She's just got to go back to Nebraska.
she's not a hideous woman. She's just she's an average looking chick, and suck it up. Okay, somebody hit on you. Fucking learn to cope with life. Jesus. Why are people such fucking babies now?
Oh God, that one doesn't do her any favors.
No, but it's a more
recent. Well, listen to me. What I mean by that is, kind of plays up the sexuality, eh?
Yeah.
That's a chick, what, 30?
She's at least 30.
Dressing like she's in 10th grade.
Oh, yeah, maybe 8th.
And specifically, I'm not talking about, she's wearing kids' clothing. This looks like she's trying to look young and in a sexual manner towards men.
You could show that picture. It's from her Twitter.
I don't want to because she didn't have her actual name on there, did she?
No, the article does link back to her Twitter, though.
Does it? All right.
Yeah, because if you click on that little image, it'll take you over there. And see, Comic Book Resources outed her.
Well, just because she's outed doesn't mean I want to. You know what, guys?
I would just leave it.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to trust this, guys. She's not
cute.
hideous. She's not ugly or anything. She's just probably a weirdo. I don't know.
The story itself, I don't believe that she went home and cried herself to sleep because she realized how bad the comic industry is, especially when she tells us that she's still exchanging texts with the guy. Really? This experience was so bad, it made you quit pursuing a career in comics. But the guy who made it so bad, you communicated with for months? I'm not buying it. So you mean like Belle Delphine? Not quite that bad, Cirque, but you're in the right ballpark. She's wearing her kitty clothes. That's for sure. Yeah, Belle Delphine. God, that woman. She's disturbing to me because she tries to look like she's 10, and like, stop it. You're cute enough. You can look grown up.
Yeah, I guess there's a market for trying to lure pedos or something. I don't know.
Look, if she's not working with Chris Hansen, there is no excuse for how she dresses.
That's very true.
Yeah, that story was bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, there's something more going on here, but that's why people don't trust when these statements come out. You exaggerate or lie, and nobody wants to believe you.
I would have no problem believing he hit on her. I have no problem believing he offered her comic books to come back to his room. I have trouble believing that he didn't get anybody else to come back up to the room with the comic books. Because that's not the thing you start just once. I mean,
you got to build up to paying off chicks with comic books.
Yeah. It used to be that he actually gave him money, and then he realized he could just give him comic books.
Which is probably cheaper. He gets those at discount, I'm sure.
He started by, do you know who I am? All right, I suppose. And ugly women, stop going to conventions. Let some pretty women go. Because I mean, she is cute. I mean, I'd bang her. Would you bang her? I mean, not now, because not knowing how crazy she is, but
Yeah, I'd probably bang her. But I'm old and my options are getting limited more and more. It'd help if she was Asian. I'd probably be a lot more into it. But she's not really my type. But yeah, I mean, she's not hideous enough or anything.
are those the same girl?
I don't know, but I know the second one is her because I found her Twitter.
The first one's cuter than the second one.
Yeah, well, age is a terrible monster.
She got some boobs on her, man. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Lauren Southern's hotter, but
What am I going to do with you?
it's not just me.
But not Lauren Southern. Some of you guys are very upset that I wouldn't bang Lauren Southern. I'm trying to be respectful. I don't want to put my dick in Canadian Vampire. The hell?
So drain all your maple syrup.
There's just something I don't know. I can't explain it. There's just something about her that's like, no, I'm good. I would not even give her a comic book. Maybe a coloring book.
Wow.
But one that I was already done coloring. I wouldn't give her one that's worth anything. You and respectful shouldn't be in the same sentence. That's mean. That's mean. Hey Monk, 2 comic books. Now show me your feats. Hazmats. You can't get 2 comic books for $1.99.
You haven't been able to do that in 15 years at least.
Remember, Lauren Southern is legally a man, so you wouldn't do it because you're not gay. I am a lesbian, so I am gay. I have gay sex with women. That's a known fact.
Yeah. You just talked about it many times.
Yeah. And I've recently come out as bisexual.
You're so stunning and brave.
Yeah. I'm not actually interested in men at all. I'm just bisexual. Because of the dictionary. Moving on. We've been it's another one of those we've been all over the place.
Yeah, it's been a weird one. Did you see the thing about the governor in Washington making everybody wear face masks?
In Oregon or Washington?
Washington, Seattle, Washington.
No.
Oh yeah, that's the second link I tossed in the chat there.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently he's mandating that shit.
I did. Okay, we'll talk about this one. Then I want to talk about the other one that's because I was going to bring it up. Governor Inslee orders masks to be worn in public to help stem spread of coronavirus. Governor Jay Inslee Tuesday announced a statewide mandate requiring facial coverings in public to slow the spread of the new coronavirus as cases begin to rise in Washington. Wait. In Washington, the cases are going up?
Yeah, it's a mystery how that could happen.
Especially
in the Seattle area.
For Yakima County, which has nearly as many COVID-19 cases as the state of Oregon, and where healthcare workers are struggling with the surge. Is Seattle in that county?
I would not doubt it at all. Maybe that's where they're dumping the bodies, though, too.
Inslee ordered even more stringent requirements to make sure people cover their faces while at businesses. The new order is set to take effect Friday. Why?
Because he can.
Yeah, but if it's so pressing, why not tomorrow? Why not Wednesday?
I don't know.
2 more days of killing, I guess.
Yeah.
Seattle is King County. All right. Well, what's in Yakima County?
That's where they dump the bodies.
Fair enough.
County. It's their dumping grounds for the Chaz.
Inslee ordered even more. The new orders come after King County last month put in place its own requirements for wearing facial coverings. In a news conference where he was joined by State Health Secretary John Weissman and President of Costco, and the presidents of Costco and the union UFCW 21, Inslee called the new orders imperative as economic activity increases.
That
All right,
doesn't
so
sound at all like he's getting kickbacks from these companies that sell masks.
nah, they're giving him comic books.
And butt stuff.
Oh, how many comics does it take to get butt stuff?
It depends on the girl, quite honestly.
Depends on the comic.
Look, my buddy married a chick that before they were married, she was all about saving herself for marriage. So she did butt stuff first.
Is that really saving yourself for marriage?
It is if you think the V card for the vag is more important than the butt.
I'm fairly certain if you talk to the people who made the Bible, who wrote it, what Jesus, God, Moses, whoever, and you said to them, would it be okay if instead of having sex, I get fucked in the ass? They'd be like, no.
It's the sex God can't see.
It's the same thing.
No. Look, this is the same chick who gave me the trifecta of my interpretation. See, it starts out with veganism, then you become a Wiccan, and then you become a lesbian, because that's exactly what happened with her.
Well, when you're taking it up the ass for God knows how long, that's going to happen.
A couple of years. But they did get married, and then she hit that trifecta, and then she left him for some chick whose carpet she didn't munch enough in college, and he lost his house in the divorce. It's a good time.
Damn. At least he got to fuck her in the ass a lot.
Yeah, he said, well, I already fucked her in the ass, so it's her turn.
Yeah, I feel like God is like, you know what? That's worse, whore.
Yeah.
Save the sphincter ring. Okay, Jack, this is the story I was going to bring up about masks. Oregon County issues face mask order that exempts non-white people.
Yeah, because neither of these will hold up in court.
Lincoln County, Oregon has exempted non-white people from the new order requiring face coverings to be worn in public to prevent racial profiling.
So all white people look alike?
It's a weird one, Jack.
This sounds like a policy the Klan would put in place. And first of all, it's not even constitutional to do that. Because you're saying some people are exempt from a rule for no apparent reason other than their skin color?
Well, kind of. Trevon Logan, this is near the end of the article, who is black, said the orders were ordered to wear face coverings are, quote, basically telling people to look dangerous given racial stereotypes that are out there.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, the thinking is in this article and in this order that if black people have to wear face masks, they're going to look dangerous to white people. They're not really dangerous, but wearing the mask is going to look dangerous to white people. You coughing and spitting all over the place in the middle of a pandemic, that's not going to look dangerous.
No, it's going to look like you're flaunting the law and you don't have to abide by the same rules. And aren't black people more predisposed to diabetes and high blood pressure?
And COVID.
Yeah, so...
from what they're telling us.
Well, I mean, like, people with diabetes and high blood pressure seem to be a big target demographic for this. So...
oh, for death, definitely. For infection, the infection rates seem to be slightly higher in Black and Latino communities.
Oh, really?
Who tend to live in bigger cities where there's more condensed populations.
Yeah. This is so dumb.
Caramon, thank you. Yesterday, COVID targeted POC. What changed? Well, they didn't want to be in trouble with the black people.
This was stupid because now you're putting people at risk so you don't get called a racist.
Yep.
That's fucking dumb.
Gonna let grandma die so you're not a racist. Well, it's the same shit that happened with the riots. You can go outside in groups of 12, but you can go protest in groups of 100. Remember that shit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This won't breed any racial animus at all.
Thank you, Frank. The county is 0.3% black.
What? Wow. Talk about extreme virtue signaling.
I don't understand how wearing a mask makes profiling easier.
I don't know why. What kind of mask are you wearing? Are you dressed like Zorro or something? I don't understand what they're going for here.
You can select a wide variety of masks so that you're not wearing the mask of the killer.
Right? Like, are they wearing like hockey masks? Doing Jason Voorhees impersonations?
With everything, everything we've been told, this whole notion is retarded on literally every level.
Well, the masks only seem to keep you from spreading your germs.
Yep.
They don't seem to actually protect you.
Thank you, Cryptic. We can just blame Canada. We could. Or we could call it the Kung Flu, which it is. Don't you let those Chinese out of this. They did this to us. Jack, I got to go to bed.
Okay.
I'm tired. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Oh, wow. We went almost 3 hours.
No wonder you're tired.
I was tired before we started. That's why I did it again so early. So I could get to bed at a decent fucking time. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming and hanging out. Thank you so very much for the donations. Jack, yawn. Anything you'd like to show?
I'll throw a link to my latest video in chat. Thank you for the donations. You guys are awesome. And don't forget to check out Comic Book Curation on Polly's channel tonight. I won't be there this time because I have something going on at IRL, but the guys will still be having a show.
What video is that for? What channel?
That is for my Bad Comic Reviews.
Check out Bad Comic Reviews and check out Roll for Sanity. That's linked below as well. Get Jack subscribers, damn it. Go over there and subscribe. Tonight is Wednesday. We're on my channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Lords of the Night, for some Hump Day fun. Come check that out. I'm going to try to do a video game stream after I wake up sometime in the afternoonish, so keep an eye out for that. And otherwise, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. Jack, a pleasure as always.
Always a good time.
Everybody, enjoy the rest of your Hump Day. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Kansas girls are really... I'm not saying...